let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safer Liquid Beer of the Week podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
It's not static, AM radio.
It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macramalla intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and log you with some sirloin bites.
.03 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. Oh, Trev, I just noticed you're wearing a Hockey Canada hoodie. I guess I hadn't looked at you prior to this exact moment, but it looks nice.
Thank you. It does look nice.
It looks really nice, buddy.
Yeah, it's a big day.
Yeah. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah, and I'm kind of excited, and you're not really excited at all. What's wrong?
What's this?
Yeah.
But I thought.
What's that?
You've got Four Nations fever.
Oh, is that what it is?
You've got the...
I think I have a little bit of a real fever.
Well, I mean, you haven't been to the doctor yet?
No. I'm probably going to go today.
Ask him, though.
Yeah.
Or her.
I think... wouldn't that be funny?
You know what? I think I've contracted.
What's wrong, sir? Well, I don't know. I think I've got the Four Nations fever. No,
How do they test for that?
That would be funny, actually. Yeah. Just to try it. But then I hope... Yeah. So I'm not feeling great. And I'm going to go to the doctor today to try to get ahead of... obviously remember November. I don't want to get that sick again. So I'm going to try to pop in there today and be like, hey, listen, you know what you gave me at the end of November? Give that to me now.
Garth Brooks did that song.
Let's just skip a few steps.
It's Fever, you know? That's you.
Did he do that one?
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
The Fever.
The Fever.
95.
How do I not know a song called The Fever by Garth Brooks?
Fever. He's got a split finger wrap and his rope's pulled way too tight. He's got a lunatic smile because he's really drawn deep tonight. He's got a fever.
For what?
Fever.
For bull riding?
I mean, fill in the blank.
Huh.
Four Nations face-off.
I'm not familiar with that one. Wow. Saskatoon Muncher says, I'm stoked for this as well, YTT. Travis, sir, are you like a 10 out of 10? You got a 10 out of 10 on this thing?
I think so. Yeah, I made a video about it last night, and I'm going to be uploading it probably within like an hour. I think I scheduled it. So if you want to see how pumped I am, you can check out my channel after
do you
the
wear
Nielson
your hoodie?
Show.
Do you wear your hoodie in it?
No, yeah, I do actually. Yep.
Would make sense.
I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super pumped. I've waited for this moment for so long. And I kind of talk about that in this video. Like, I remember the moment where I was like, oh, I can't wait to see McDavid and Crosby on the same team, on the same line, potentially. And,
this is it.
And
right?
I was like, oh, like, you know, I'll have to wait in 3 years. That's probably the next Olympics. That's, you know, McDavid should be good enough by then to be able to compete with the best of the best in the entire world. And instead of 3 years, it ended up being 11 years I had to wait. So that sucked. So yes, I cannot wait. You know, some people are going to be like, it's the Four Nations face off. And I get that. Like, it's not the Olympics, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Crosby. It's still McDavid. They're repping Team Canada. I'm pumped. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. And I think it's going to be really good hockey. And I think people are going to be surprised by the product of hockey that will be on display tonight.
Very, very much looking forward to it. 6:00 start. Finally get to see McDavid and Crosby together on Team Canada, even if they'll just be on the power play together at times, right? Trev's very excited for it.
Where's the watch party? What are you doing tonight?
Yeah. I've never seen you so excited your whole life, buddy.
I love international
amazing.
hockey, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, my God. I was very excited.
Yeah, I don't think I'm having a watch party, but I'll be at my place if you want to come. I'll have some beers or beverages, I should say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to stay away.
Oh, okay.
But thanks for the invite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's terrific. The Nielson Show is brought to you by Southfort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his family-friendly team out at Southfort Chev, www.southfortchev.com. They've got those 2025 tracks on now for less than $150 bi-weekly. Truly a remarkable deal. So that's nice. Lots of good text messages already rolling in. Jason Leduc asking for a conch. We don't do conchs, but I'll give you a conch. He finished 7th in the poker tournament last night. Great time. You know who finished 3rd? What's his name on Twitter? PDO King?
Yeah.
He finished 3rd.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And Huss finished 2nd.
He DM'd me with the results.
Yeah, me
And then
too.
he was like, no.
Yeah, I think he finished 3rd.
I think we all placed first because Tombstone was also on AMC last night. If you're watching him play along, I mean, it was a Tuesday for the books.
This is also when you'll know I'm not feeling great. I didn't finish Tombstone.
Well,
I was watching Tombstone, and then when the poker tournament started, I just took my laptop into bed, and I laid there. And you know what I did? I actually put rounders on my phone and had the laptop there
Kinda
playing
juice you
poker,
up.
just laying in bed. And I don't know. I think I ended up going out 34th, maybe. I was not looking to make a deep push into the night. I was ready to go to sleep. I was down. I think I was like 27th out of 32. Maybe I finished 32nd. Anyway, I was like 27 out of 32. I was actually in 5th at one point. I had a nice start. But I just decided to go all in with pocket 7s. And I'm pretty sure it was Big Maple. He's the only one who called me. I flip over my pocket 7s. He's got pocket 8s. Had me dominated.
both the game and the movie, though, are
I went out.
marathons. I wouldn't blame you for, like, they're both long hauls, commitments.
What's that, Tombstone?
Well, and the game, if you're...
Yeah. It's
totally understandable.
I mean, I don't know how late they would have gone, and I don't know who won. Who beat Huss last night? Somebody must know. Jason and Leduc. Who ended up winning this thing last night? 780-218-9999. Wanted to get to text messages from a great handle here. It looks like you've got it put in the system now. It wasn't working before. It's in there now.
What?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not on mine.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Look, Adam the Molecule. On mine, it's sitting right there. This is
so
weird.
you could name it yourself on your own?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
It didn't look like it allowed me to do it, but there it is. It's sitting there. Anyway, Adam the Molecule texts in at 5:37 today.
it's BS.
Epic handle. Adam the Molecule says, "Hey, fellas, hanging with the kids last night, and my daughter hands me her notebook and asks if I can fix the pages that are falling out. As if I'm possessed, I take it and say, 'The bookbinder,' while staring off into space." I can't laugh because I'll start coughing, but that's pretty funny.
But I am just a lonely, nasty bookbinder. I would love to beat Jasmine. I would love to maybe bind Tommy's shorts so they come further down his thigh. Not a book necessarily, but I'm sure my skills could translate. I would love to put together the Persnickety Papers by Matthew Awanek. And now, at last, Jay, you have contacted me. The bookbinder of Alberta. The last one.
The last one. I think bookbinding in Alberta is actually going to see a resurgence after that bit. So that's a positive. And shout out to the guy who on Twitter did send us photos of Reed on a unicorn as the bookbinder. That was really well done.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Not safe for work.
Yeah. 780-218-9999. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox today, where it is Valentine's Day on Friday. Means you might want to be making a trip to Paris Jewelers.
Do the PJ and BP stack. Get a nice necklace.
That's love right there.
Necklace, place it on top of the heart-shaped pizza. She opens the box. Bada bing, bada boom.
Looking at their website right now, parisjewelers.com. They've got 20 to 50% off of their Valentine's Day collection right now. Hello. Not bad. Also, they've always got great deals on engagement rings. So you can find that as well, Paris Jewelers. It's the inbox. I'd say get in the mix for text of the day, which is brought to you by A&W. Sink your teeth into savings with A&W's new $6 Buddy Bundle. For a limited time, get your choice. Buddy Burger or a hot and crispy chicken Buddy Burger, plus small fries and a small drink for just $6. Available in restaurants or in the A&W mobile app for a limited time.
Who says you can't have it all?
You can't have it all at A&W. It's really the truth. You can certainly have it all. All right, let's lay out the show for you today. Canada, Sweden tonight. We'll set that up as we work our way through the program. The Fan Zone coming up. We'll go Fan Zone around 6:30 today. And you know what? I was just laying around. I slept from about 10:30 till 4.
You left after the show yesterday.
Yes, I left after the show yesterday. Missed two guys, two guys.
JBM, Huss, they had it locked down.
No, it was a great lock shop. You know, actually, this was brought to our attention last night. Monday, when we were walking all over the Chief's grave with Huss, was actually his birthday, and he never told us. Yeah. We were texting him last night. I said, dude, I'm not going to be able to stream this poker tournament tonight. Let me know if you can. He goes, I'm actually out for dinner for my birthday. And we were like, oh, man, we didn't know it was your birthday today. He goes, actually, my birthday was yesterday when you guys were walking all over me in the lock shop. I thought, ooh, tough look.
Yeah, but he's won enough, we said.
Yeah. I mean, he just also finished second in the poker tournament last night.
Right? Yeah, so there you go. Yeah,
he's done very well for himself.
He's okay. He's doing okay.
He's done very well for himself. So I slept from like 10 to 4:30 yesterday. And then, I didn't want to sleep the entire day because then I wouldn't have been able to fall asleep last night. So I got up and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to build list 31 to 40 on the greatest list of players of all time.
Can't wait.
And the Ron Francis disrespect continues.
Well, the Jonas Brodin disrespect.
Also not there. Not on the list today. I have 4 current players popping up on this list today, if you can believe it. But I think it's about time we start to give the modern era a little bit of respect in the conversation of greatest of all time. So we're gonna get in. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that today.
I'm looking forward to that. Hurts.
Yeah. Well, that hurts is coming up at 6:45. And have you seen this trophy? We're gonna get to it. That hurts.
It's beautiful.
This trophy for the Four Nations. So they're going to get gold medals too.
Yeah.
So there's like a cup trophy, gold medals, and a bunch of cash. For 4 games.
But fourth place doesn't get a medal. They all get a medal except the last.
Yeah, you're right.
Love it.
Jamie McLennan, just after 7 o'clock today. We'll have your Four Nations face-off play of the day with Cool Bet. Free advice for Damon Bunting. Eric Macramalla will pop by for Park Mazda at 7:45 today. You can send in your Macramalla intros. We will try to get to as many of those as we can as well. Keep pounding that inbox over there. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. That's a good for the Italian Center. Hey, this was great. What are the odds of this? You had Italian Center pizza last night.
Yes.
And my wife, Tammy, actually picked up some Italian Center lasagna when she was on a boat yesterday. So the Nielson family had lasagna last night for supper.
Eating like kings. Yeah.
That pizza looks so good. Your close-up shot of that pizza.
And just right. I mean, it's got the right amount of grease on it. It's not too thick. It's not too thin.
Yeah.
The cheese is just polarific.
That's good. Last night, Tammy was dabbling in a little bit of lasagna. She goes, we got to get that mac and cheese that you guys had. She goes, and we can pick up all the little items, and the kids can make their own mac and cheese.
Sure, yeah.
I said, hey, check it out on the recipe page.
You could be the mac and
website.
cheese, like the omelet bar. You stand there with the chefs.
Here we go.
What can we? Yeah.
Would you like some seasoned breadcrumbs? Not a problem. Just a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkle. Greg Wyshynski from ESPN will be by just after 8:30 this morning. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power, the Marmot Basin Snow Report. How much corduroy are we going to see today? And the wrap for William Huff.
Look at Library Pat in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Iwanic was slagging Dusty on the Reed Wilkins show yesterday. Intimated that you're not sick, just hungover. Hashtag justice for Dusty. I can't believe it. Library Pat.
I powered through Monday. I was fine. I don't think when you're hungover you get a cough like this. I think that's
balls in your court,
maybe. I mean, in the end, I don't really care.
I know. Library Pat, bring it in.
That tea is nice.
Using the Reed Wilkins show, too.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can't give that guy any more airtime than he already has, can you? Some current players on Dusty's list?
Yeah.
Let me guess. Nick Suzuki, Lane Hudson, and Patrick Laine?
Yeah, Joel Armia.
No. Actually, let me look at the list. Let's see if there are any Habs on this list.
Well, Caulfield was a young gun at one point. Hey, we were all Caulfield hunting in the young gun breaks.
No Habs on this list. I was considering putting a Hab on the list, but I guess he'll fall in the 40 to 50 range. It's a nice looking list, though. I think there'll be some good talking points coming out of the list today. So we'll go there around 6:30 today. Shall we dive into some morning announcements here, boys? Why not? Corey the Butcher submitting into the Parachuters inbox a nice little AI creation of the bookbinder.
That is it.
Yeah,
That's where my mind goes.
that's it. Kind of summarizes it nicely, doesn't it? I can't make that any bigger, but it looks. Oh, here we go. Maximize that.
Tommy Shorts.
Can we get it? It looks very good. All right. CFL free agency yesterday.
Hey,
Great hangout. The boys were discussing all of the news. Marshall Ferguson, he always does. You track his well, he basically keeps track of everything in one nice little spreadsheet, and then sends
he
it
loves
out.
a good spreadsheet.
Big spreadsheet guy.
Yeah.
Marshall Ferguson. So here's what we got for Edmonton. They kept Trey Ford, Javon Leake, Martez Ivey, and Plamondon, and Niles Morgan, obviously. They brought in Trey Odoms-Dukes, Kobe Williams, Royce Metier, Gregor McKellar, Terrell Ford, Jake Serezna, David Beard, Keon Julian Grant, Cody Grace as a punter, no field goal kicker just yet, and then Tyson Middlemost as a depth Canadian receiver. I was just looking at some of the other additions around the Canadian Football League. The Lions, James Butler, Deontay Williams, D. Wayne Hendricks, Adam O'Clair. So and then I think I saw just last night, Jeremiah Mazzoli's going to the Lions,
Mazzoli in BC, Anthony Lanier, the defensive lineman, lands in Toronto, and Kadeem Carey as well, an Argonaut
staying in Toronto. Yeah, the Stampeders, Tevin Jones, Moncrief, Brinkman, Robbie Smith. I thought Robbie Smith was coming here. Was he not coming here? Marsh got this wrong. I thought Robbie Smith had signed in.
Robbie Smith is scheduled for a medical later this morning, or was. No.
Man, how do you know about Robbie Smith medicals? That's pretty impressive.
Hey, sports talk.
The Riders kept a bunch of guys and then added Jake Mayer, Tommy Stevens.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Like they didn't add any much. They didn't add much else.
Speaking as somebody who might support the green and white, I think the quarterback room is much improved. I think even having Tommy Stevens on your roster and not playing against him is the bonus there. Regardless of what he does, he's not ripping off those 40-yard dashes off tackle when it's third and an inch. So, yeah, I don't mind it at all. He was quoted as saying he can throw as well, which we haven't seen yet. So there's a quarterback in there somewhere. And I think if Harris does miss his usual 6 games that he does every season with his flamingo legs, Jake Mayer and his history with Mark Mueller and a fresh start for him. He's not old. So that would be a good fill-in. So, yeah, I think they improved. Shea Patterson landing in Winnipeg. Him and Strevler kind of platooning there as the backup to Zach Claros. So, yeah, pretty. And Jason Shivers last night as well, rumored to be on his way to Toronto to be their new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Former Elk.
Good to see him land there.
Oakman in Montreal as well, defensive lineman Sean Oakman. Nothing too surprising, like that we didn't hear from the tampering window, I guess.
Yeah, tampering window really laid it out.
Nothing reneged and kind of, he's said he was going there, and now he's going there.
Nothing of significance, at least, yeah. All right, 780-218-9999. VR Montenegro says, no Habs on the list today. Dusty must be sicker than we thought.
Well, Strummy points out there is hockey tonight in Montreal, so
Good point.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons I wanted to do the list, just to get that focused on Montreal.
And speaking of lists, weekly rankings of power as well coming up.
What's that going to be?
Well, there is a hockey tournament getting underway tonight.
Oh,
There's 4
nice.
nations involved. Now, I can do this a slow release throughout the show and rank you each nation. I'm ranking the nations.
The 4 nations or
The
all
4
nations?
nations.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I could do all.
I was going to say, you should rank every single country.
Yeah.
I'm going to do every single hockey player
That'd
ever.
be bad, eh?
That could be something you could look at. Hey, if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be greatly appreciated. We are 37 away from changing 100 here before 6:30. Always a nice target. We will have Jamie McLennan with us. We will have Greg Wyshynski with us. And we'll catch up with Eric Macramalla today as well. So make sure you send in those intros. Did you guys catch any of this alien conversation, the UFO conversation yesterday on the Reed Wilkins show?
Did you see my GIF?
I'm not sure if I saw your
Believing
GIF.
intensifies, and I had Scully or Mulder, whoever it was from the X-Files.
I never watched
area.
X-Files.
Nah, I wasn't a big fan. I watched a few episodes back in the day, but I love aliens. I love the UFO, the extraterrestrial talk. Again, we need a coast to coast program running just before ours on this station where people can phone in.
Yes.
And report their findings and things such as that.
Like in the morning before us.
Yeah, like Art Bell used to do.
Can Phrase host it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's who you kind of envision.
I like Phrase hosting the Alien show.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I think that would be. I think that would be pretty good. I am a believer. I am a believer of extraterrestrials for sure.
Well, the odds are.
Yeah, I mean, have you watched either of the Space Jam movies? Pretty clear that something's out there. I also my whole, I think you can have different theories and reasons why you would believe. I'm in that classic. The universe is way, way, way too big to not have another form of life out there. There's no way. There's no way that the universe is that big.
Well, not
there's
out here.
nobody else out there.
Right here, man. Like the Sumerian texts, and all that. Like we are aliens.
I never thought about it that way.
That's the thing. If you think you're alive, then you believe, because we're alien to the world.
Do you think that like aliens have come and checked us out and just been like, man, we don't need to waste our time here and just move on?
No, they bred with an animal on the planet, and now we're mining gold and rare minerals for them, in which they will return and collect.
Is that a theory?
Yes, the whole Earth. This is just a colony.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I never heard that one.
We're half
was
alien.
that
We're
on
all
the
alien. You're an alien. And you're an alien. I'm an alien.
Never thought about myself
I'm
as an
not
alien. Why not?
That's what you mean.
I mean, you
I'm a
did tell
human.
us that as a child alien, you punched yourself in the head 10 times yesterday.
That's not what aliens do.
Well, maybe
They're, like,
some aliens do that.
Out of space stuff.
Wow, so we're aliens.
Yes.
And they planted us on this planet.
Yeah, that's why
to
we're not
harvest
like.
it.
That's why we're not like the natural. We're kind of a cut above with the consciousness and all that.
Huh.
I have a theory that aliens are watching over us and they're waiting for us to make some huge discovery.
And then they'll steal it.
And then they'll steal it and kill us.
So the iPhone wasn't enough. Like, think about the iPhone, and they're just like, "No, we'll wait for something better."
No, we need more. More.
I can't imagine a world that will have anything else better than an iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a great conversation, though.
It was wild. The
dialed
reaction
in.
was great.
It was,
the chat and stuff.
I like that kind of talk a lot. It was fun. I love conspiracies. Buddy seems like a pretty cool dude, but Area 51 potentially being in Canada. I mean, it makes sense. Like, there's.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. Like he's like, well,
I didn't see that part.
He never confirmed or deny. Well, he did deny a few things, but he was like, I wouldn't be surprised. Essentially, it's like it makes
so.
sense.
Like, there's an additional Area 51 here, or the original Area 51 is in Canada.
No, Area 51. There could be a Canadian variation of that.
Really?
Just because it is
A dark site, a dark military site.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Canada's a lot bigger than the States, and
Well,
look
if
at the
we're
population.
all aliens, then we should have access to this.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
But it was a great conversation, and the whole the one texter what he was saying, like he was on he was in the Navy SEALs or whatever, and they'd see UFOs that would just disappear and they wouldn't be tracked on radar. Like, oh, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Like, I'm just like, oh, I get goosebumps thinking about it.
That's got to be real.
It's got to be real.
But how can we never?
What's got to be real though? There's so many different
other life forms.
Yes, but have they been here yet? Have they?
I think so.
Then there's all those questions, right? Like there's clearly the galaxy. Who used to talk about that? Brizgalov, right? Like
Brizgalov had some theories.
If you go by
along the way.
Brizgalov theory, it's way too vast for not to be anything else. But the question is if they've been here or that type of thing. And I mean, the radio waves we send out. I mean, shoot, what we're doing here, that goes and it doesn't stop.
It just keeps going.
Like all of the shows we did at 1260 by this time are like at least a light year away.
That's kind of neat. You know what? I love the fact that somebody on a different planet's going to hear our show and be like, these guys are awesome. And then go, oh, they killed the station?
Yeah, they're listening.
Green
Like they
Day gets put on,
they
yeah.
finally track it down and they hear Green Day?
They're just hearing that. Yeah,
That
you
would
guys
suck.
got
Probably
shut
hitting
down.
right now, yeah.
That
Guys
would,
hearing, the Nielson Show? Yeah, it was great. Oh, this is my favorite part. Oh,
no, that's tough.
there's nothing there anymore.
That's kind of funny,
Whale
actually.
City
That's why they
Dynasty
come to Earth.
pointing out that there's an Art Bell biopic starring Paul Giamatti in the works.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what? Say that again? Which biopic?
Art Bell, who did the show Coast to Coast,
Okay.
right? There's a biopic of him starring Paul Giamatti, who will play Art Bell, and that's
I like Paul
apparently
Giamatti.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
He's a good actor, Paul Giamatti. I'm trying to think if there's a bit we can do here around the alien thing. I can't even. I'm just coughing
you can't
way too
believe
much.
it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's that Four Nations fever I've been telling you about, man.
Yeah.
You should have got your shot.
Imagine the Four Nations, like they come down, they're like, okay, let's see what's happening, and it's four of our countries out of the whole world playing hockey against each other.
Amazing.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Where's Italy?
No love for some of these other nations. All right, 780-218-9999. Strummy says, after monitoring us and realizing that we don't all use napkins, they decide to move on to another more sophisticated planet.
That was to me. Was
Yeah, that was directed to you, Trev. Yeah, that was a tough one. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Lots of good text messages on the aliens. And you talk about the signals being sent out. Have you seen the movie Contact? Eh?
Yeah.
Right? And then they sent the signal back.
Yeah.
Contact was something else, man. I watch it all the time. I like Contact.
What about Armageddon?
Well, not an alien, but I do like Armageddon.
Men in
too.
Black? Anyone?
What is the best alien movie?
Alien.
I've never seen Alien. Sorry, buddy.
Predator.
Haven't seen Predator either.
You haven't?
No, I haven't seen any of those. Alien, Predator. Is there another one? Is there an Alien versus Predator? Isn't there? Haven't seen that one either.
There's a lot.
Yep.
No more darts at Super Bowl party. Smith TM14 says it was those big stogies.
I did not have a smoke at the Super Bowl party.
Hanging out
I
with
promise
Hernan
you
too
that.
much.
Yeah, definitely not the case. All right, we're going to get to a sports update. On the other side, the greatest list of all time continues, as I will tell you my list 31 through 40 of the greatest players in the history of hockey.
You just made the list!
Yeah, that's coming up. Smith says Predator 1 is wicked.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest. I mean, the casting alone.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers, Schwarzenegger.
Independence Day, Barry the Cheater. That might be my favorite alien movie. That's a good point.
No, because you've seen it.
Yeah.
Watch Predator once.
You think so?
Oh, you'll love it.
Does that got Arnold?
I just said Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
There's tons of memes and GIFs and
I
like,
see those pop up all
you
the
will
time. I never know what
understand.
they're about.
Everything will make so much sense. 25% of Twitter will make more sense to you. Like the whole.
Good to know. Yeah, the handshake thing. I thought that was from a Stallone movie. My bad.
Still.
All right, let's get to the sports update. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us this morning. 15 away from changing 100. The greatest list of all time continues, and that hurts for James H. Brown. Still coming up before 7 o'clock as well.
You see Predator? Pushing too many pencils. Yeah. Slack-jawed Tyrannosaur. Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada as action gets underway tonight at the Four Nations face-off. Canada, Sweden from Montreal. Sidney Crosby, meanwhile, moving to the wing with Nathan McKinnon centering a line with him and Mark Stone. Puck drop this evening at 6 o'clock Mountain. Finland will take on the USA tomorrow, also from Montreal. The Edmonton Oil Kings back home to host the Regina Pats tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7. Oil Kings will hit the road for a game Friday night in Red Deer. Scotty Barnes had 33 points as the Raptors snapped a 4-game slide, 106-103 over the 76ers. Pistons romping the Bulls 132-92. Karl Anthony Towns had 40 points. Knicks topped the Pacers 128-115. And the Grizzlies would hold on for a 119-112 victory over the Suns. 15 games around the NBA tonight, including the Raptors hosting the Cavs while the Lakers visit the Jazz. Former Edmonton Elks defensive coordinator Jason Shivers will reportedly be named as the Argonauts' new DC. According to reports last night, the Elks made it official with 6 players yesterday, including Canadian defensive back Royce Mechie on a 2-year deal. Jake Seresna, Robbie Smith, David Beard, and Tyrell Ford are all scheduled for medicals later this morning. Up next, more of Hour 1 on the Nielson Show here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, edmontonsportstalk.com.
I can remember back being an 11-year-old kid, about 75 pounds on the basketball court against the neighborhood bully, kicking his behind left, right, and center.
I call you when I need you. My heart's on fire.
When it was all said and done, he was a little upset, so he punched me in the mouth.
You come to me, wild and wild.
My uncles were over on the side, observing, talking amongst themselves, adult things.
When you come to me, give me a...
When he punched me in my mouth, I decided I'm running to my uncle. And you know what he did? He pushed me back to him. I went back and he punched me in my mouth again. I ran to my uncle, looking for protection. Needed Big Brother to protect me. He pushed me back again. And you know what I did? I faced him in the eyes and I said, my uncle's not going to help me. And I punched him in the face. Then I looked him in the eye and I said, then what? Now what? Now what? Now what are you going to do?
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. Stuck in your heart. I hang on every word you say. Says I know. Maybe I would rather be dead.
Get to the chopper.
Is that from?
Operator Rich says, Dusty Man, stop watching Contact. Like, who cares? Haha.
I mean, I like Contact.
Yeah,
I
nothing
think
against
it's
Contact.
I think
I
it's a
just
neat movie.
Predator's got you written all over it.
You think so?
Oh,
I might have to watch it then. Somebody said Predator and Commando are their 2 favorite Arnold movies. I've never seen either of them.
and Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator as well.
Maybe I'll check it out at some point. T-Bud says, watch Stargate, the original movie. It hits on the theory. Yeah, I like Stargate. I watched Stargate. I never watched the show, but I watched Stargate.
Theory of just aliens?
I think your
or-
theory. Or this guy says, I also agree with Lieutenant Eric on theory of aliens. They were ancient Sumerians, the oldest recorded civilization.
The Sumerian texts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you watch Lloyd Pye's 2-hour essay on Sasquatch as well, that's another one where it's all, they're not from here,
The Samsquatch.
but they all kind of had sex. And it's,
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, this is getting pretty crazy then, hey? Huh. All right, well,
that YouTube, I tell you.
you can, there's a lot of
There's a
things
lot of
there.
stuff
eh?
on
Yeah,
there.
YouTube is pretty crazy. If you're watching our YouTube channel right now, hammer the thumbs up for us. That's great. If you are listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, please tell your friends how easy it is to consume Edmonton Sports Talk over there. Full day of content every single day. The Hangout from 9 to 11. The Lock Shop at 11. Oil Stream at noon today. EST afternoons from 1 to 3. And then the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6.
Do you want me to host?
And I get to be sidekick?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I would love that. This is ridiculous. This is like worse than it was when I was sick.
You don't have
You know,
like a lozenge though or anything, hey? Like you got tea, you got two things of water.
I've been crushing this
Great
Pedialyte,
Pedialyte, yeah.
Hydrolyte stuff.
Yeah.
But this cough is ridiculous. I mean, Oh, Running Man. I did see Running Man. That was a weird one. I liked Running Man. That might be one of my favorite Arnolds. Plus Twins, obviously.
Jen says True Lies is good as well.
True Lies is pretty good.
Sure.
I saw True Lies. I guess I just didn't see Predator.
Ain't got time to bleed.
Is that from Predator? Now, there's a lot of quotes in that movie.
It's just such good one-liners.
Yeah.
It's like a Jurassic Park-esque.
All right. Let's get into the fan zone for fans first. 5 fans, 4 fans, no fees.
I just want to make sure.
Fansfirst.ca. Thank you. It's kind of I apologize, everybody. This is ridiculous.
Too much vaping.
Yeah, that's.
You've been hitting that jewel.
I literally, I don't inhale anything ever.
Yeah, that's
Except
funny.
air.
Yeah. No, you're there.
Yeah. Smith TM says Total Recall for Wacky Sci-Fi. I love Total Recall.
Total Recall.
I guess I just have. I don't know. I just never got into Predator. Sorry, everybody.
But it's not too late. I'm just saying. Don't.
Is Predator about aliens too?
It is about an alien.
One alien.
The first Predator, and then.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil too much.
No. I don't want you to spoil it for me either. All right. So I've been building the greatest list of hockey players ever. Let's recap the top 30, shall we?
Yes.
This will go
Let's
over
see if
well.
we can get through it.
Reading this list is going to work out great. Gretzky, Mario, Orr, Howe, Messier, Yager, Crosby, Hasek, Ovechkin, McDavid. That's 1 through 10. Lidstrom was 11. Bossy, Esposito, Patrick Waugh, Guy Lafleur, John Beliveau, little Hab run there. Paul Coffey, Ken Dryden, Ray Bourque, Doug Harvey. 11 through 20. 21 through 30. Bobby Hull, Bobby Clark, Marty Brodeur, Rocket Richard, Stan Mikita, Joe Sakic, Steve Yzerman, Jacques Plante, Terry Sawchuk, and Marcel Dion. So that got us 1 through 30.
Yep. Still no boom boom Jeffrey on, not in sight.
Still no boom boom here.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: Boom Boom Jeffrey is not coming up. There are no Habs on this list from 31 to 40. All right, number 31 on the list. Won a Calder, 3 Norris trophies, 4 Stanley Cups, had a 100-point season as a defenseman, and finished with almost a point per game in his career. Number 31 on the list, Denny Potvin of the New York Islanders. Had that 100 points before I think the Islanders went on their run as well. So I know, I think this is a good spot for him on the list. He's at 31, followed by, and this one was tough because I don't know where to fit these guys from the 30s in on this list. Like, we're talking almost 100 years ago. But I didn't think I could put this guy any lower because he won 4 Hart trophies in the 30s.
Doug Bentley.
Multiple Stanley Cups. No Eddie Shore. Eddie Shore comes in at 32 on the list.
From Slapshot.
I think from Slapshot. 4 Hart trophies. I think they might have been 4 in a row. So Denny Potvin, Eddie Shore, number 33, 3 70-goal seasons. One of them was an 80-goal season. 4 100-point campaigns, 2 Stanley Cups, a Hart Trophy, and a Lester. Brett Hull comes in at number 33 on the list. Hard to have him slide any further. Multiple Stanley Cups, 3 70-goal seasons, and a Hart Trophy.
And how many kids' sleds, had other guys on their posters?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a league above.
Took over the poster game, took over the sledding game.
It's an iconic poster. Lots of hockey players made posters. That could be the best one ever.
Brett Hull, 33. So Potvin, Shore, Brett Hull. Now, I did say we were going to have some modern day guys on this list to give some respect to the talent that we're watching right now. So coming in at 34 on this list, 2 Stanley Cups, 4 100-point seasons, a Hart Trophy, 2 Art Ross trophies, and 13th all-time in points per game. Nikita Kucherov is coming in at 34 on the list. He's 13th all-time in points per game. It's ridiculous. He's got the multiple cups. He's got the Hart. He's got a couple of Art Rosses, and he got Art Rosses on McDavid's watch. You know what I mean? Like, That's pretty impressive. What do you go for 140 some at one point? So I've got Kucherov at 34, Al McInnes at 35, Stanley Cup and the Conn Smythe, a Norris Trophy, and 1,274 career points. So Al McInnes comes in at 35, and then a run of 3 modern day players, 3 guys who are still going. 36, Evgeny Malkin, 3 100-point seasons, 3 cups, a Calder, 2 Art Ross, a Conn Smythe, a Hart, a Lindsay. I mean, he's basically won it all. So Evgeny Malkin sits at 36, Patrick Kane at 37, 2 100-point seasons, 3 Stanley Cups, a Hart, a Conn Smythe, a Calder, an Art Ross, and a Lindsay as well. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a homer take or not, but I am putting Leon Draisaitl 38th on the list. Okay? And you might say, Dusty, that's ridiculous. Hasn't won a cup yet. But, you know, the modern guys, Kucherov, Malkin, Kane, multiple cups, I got those guys all ahead of him. If he gets a Stanley Cup, he's going to move further up here. But listen to this. Like, I don't think we realize how ridiculous Leon Draisaitl is. 3 50-goal seasons. That's better than Malkin and Kane and Kucherov, who were ahead of him. 5 100-point seasons. He's going to smash through that again. He's already got 1 Hart. He's already got a Lindsay. He's already got an Art Ross. Very likely could add another Hart Trophy this year. He's like 20 points away from the point total he put up last year. And like, think how many games we have left this season. I mean, he's going to smash through that. So yes, I am putting Leon Draisaitl with 3 50-goal seasons, 5 100-point seasons, a Hart, an Art Ross, and a Lindsay at 38 on the list. Trev, do you think that's too high for Leon Draisaitl? Like, I'm pretty sure in other markets they're not going to have Leon Draisaitl at 38, but I mean, his 5 100-point seasons are way more than a bunch of other guys on this list.
I like it. I do like it. I have to see the full list. Like, I'm curious because I kind of forgot who you said. Well, is he ahead of?
He's right behind Malkin and Kane.
Is he ahead of Stevie Y? Like you?
No,
already said
Eiserman
him.
was in the 20s.
Joe Sakic
was in the 20s.
Okay. What about Pavel Datsuk?
Datsuk's not on the list yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, Datsuk's a good one. Actually, I've got my list of like next up guys, and Datsuk is on there. Datsuk's on there. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can see the argument. I see both sides for this. I get why you're putting him where you are. That's totally legit for me. I see the reasons. I've seen it. I've seen the proof in the pudding. This guy is an absolute stud. But I can also see the argument from other people like, oh, how dare you put Draisaitl ahead of a Datsuk? So I see both sides, but I'm for it because you didn't even mention one of the best playoff performers of all time. Like he's right up there with points per game. He was third last year, only to Gretzky and Lemieux, and he was tied with Connor McDavid as the top 4 best point producers in the playoffs. Like that's insane. So I buy it, Dusty. I'm with you. I'm riding with you.
Even ahead of Johnny Busick.
Ooh, yes.
I mean, nothing against Datsuk, but no Hart Trophy. Didn't have a 100-point season.
Yeah.
Leon's got 5 of them.
Yeah.
He's got 3 50-goal seasons. He's going to have a 4th 50-goal season in like 3 weeks. Like I don't think we realize how good Leon, and I think he's 14th all time in points per game.
Yeah.
Like him and Kucherov are right there.
He's right up there.
So I think I had to have him there. And when he wins a cup, he's probably going to jump up even higher on this list. Here are the 2 guys I have behind him. And I almost split 40. I almost went 40A and 40B because I felt really bad.
If the list wasn't long enough, we're going to start splitting numbers.
I know, but I was like,
right?
you know what? Mind you, I've got 41 here. I might give 40 and 41 today just because I feel like they're too close to separate. 39 on the list. Some people might also say a bit of a homer take, but can I tell you? 5 100-point seasons, 5 Stanley Cups, 2 50-goal seasons, a 60-goal season, and a 70-goal season. Yari Curry. Like, think about that. Like, those are, I know he was playing with Wayne. I get it. But those are ridiculous numbers that not many other guys, even above him on this list, put up. 2 50s, a 60, and a 70. 5 100-point seasons and 5 Stanley Cups. I mean, I think you got to respect the accomplishments there.
Elmer Locke would like a word.
Okay, and then 40. I was going to go just to 40, but I have to put these two guys together. 40 and 41. Peter Stastny, Dale Hawerchuk. I couldn't separate them. They both won a Calder, and they both had 6 and 7 100-point seasons. The problem for these guys is that they didn't win Hearts. They didn't win Art Rosses, but why? Well, they were cooking in Wayne Gretzky's era. You know what I mean? Like, Gretzky basically denied anybody in the 80s of winning any individual award.
Not fair.
But their seasons were incredible. They both won Calders, and then Stastny rolled off 7 100-point seasons. He's 7th all-time in points per game. 7th all-time. 2 spots behind Ron Francis, who's not yet on this list. We'll get to Ron Francis at some point. And then Dale Hawerchuk, 6 100-point seasons.
Somebody looking for John LeClaire.
But not yet.
They'll all make the list eventually.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to understand,
Yeah.
right? Like there's.
I mean, at one point, we'll be bringing in Gager Live to be like, so what do you think of your spot on the list?
Well, based off his ranking on the game over there.
Yeah. It's going to take a little while. All right, so there you go. 31 through 41. I cheated and put 11 in here. There's 11 on this list. I cheated a bit.
We're gonna need an extra spot.
I didn't want to. I just couldn't put Stastny and not Hawerchuk together. I mean, it's a Sakic Yzerman thing. So Denny Potvin, Eddie Shore, Brett Hull, Kucherov, McInnes, Malkin, Kane, Draisaitl, Curry, Stastny, Hawerchuk. Now in this next group that I'm looking at, like this is where we have to start. I think to get to some of the guys who might not have had the like huge 16, 17-year careers, but were awesome in a shorter time frame.
Time is
Eric Lindros,
Yeah.
Pavel Bure.
what could have been.
Like there's a bunch of Peter Forsberg only played like 7. Like I think it's time to start trying to slot in some of those guys.
Alexander Dag.
Dag likely not going to be there, even though I had a jersey of him as a child.
Great thespian,
Yeah.
right?
I think that was my first NHL jersey, Alexander Dag.
Get out of here. White or black?
My parents must have got it on sale somewhere.
Right. Well, it was a big
Black.
seller. Yeah,
it was a black one.
It was hot.
It was a black one. And yeah, I don't know. I don't remember ever being a fan of him. But I remember getting an Alexander Dag jersey. Maybe I was a fan at some point, but
I think we all
don't
wanted,
remember
we
it.
all wanted to be a fan. It just never.
But I was a Eric Lindros fan, and then my parents got me an Alexander Dag jersey. It just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Well, it's.
Anyway, I have Leon Draisaitl 38th on the all-time list. Too high? I don't think there'll be anybody who makes a claim he should be higher.
Too low.
But is that too high? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Wizard Wonder says, how does this affect LeBron's legacy?
Great question.
Did you see? I don't even want to get into this. Not today. I can barely talk regular sentence today, let alone getting fired up about that. But, and I don't know if this was like an older list or if, and somebody just like repurposed it, or if Stephen A. Smith, and now I should not worry about anything Stephen A. Smith said.
It's an A list. Steven's A list.
But did you see, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you think that's a modern day list, or do you think somebody screen capped that from a few years ago? Now, are you looking at the one pressure to win a title this year? Give me the top 5 names on this list.
You want to go from 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
Let's go 5 to 1. So this is Stephen A. Smith.
Is A list. Steven's A list. Get it?
Oh, I get it. This might be the worst list I've ever seen in my entire life. Anyway, give it to me.
NBA players under most pressure to win a title. At number 5, Jason Tatum.
He won a title last year.
Number 4, Dame Lillard.
The Dame I kind of get.
Number 3, the Ant, Anthony Edwards.
Who's 23 years old and is a franchise, but
Lots of pressure.
Sure.
Number 2, Steph Curry.
Why is there pressure on Steph Curry to win a championship right now? That makes no sense to me.
They're clearly in a window. And number 1, of course, LeBron James.
LeBron James, in year
At 40 years
22,
old.
at 40 years old, apparently, according to Stephen A. Smith, has the most pressure on him in the entire league to win a title.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? I mean, this is one of the most ridiculous lists I've ever seen in my entire life. However, outside of the fact that it just confirms that he's the greatest of all time. Because nobody else in the history of the game would have ever been expected to win a championship at age 40 in year 22. And apparently he has the most pressure on him.
And to have the pressure.
God,
yeah.
Stephen A. Smith is an idiot.
A-list.
I mean, he's just an idiot. And he gets paid like, what's his deal? Like $8, $9, $10 million a year?
Quite handsomely.
To just have ridiculous take after ridiculous take?
Yeah.
I can't even deal with it.
I can't wait until we're done the NHL player greatest of all time and you go to the NBA list. Then we're in for a treat. And I'm really curious as to who your top.
What a bad take.
I mean, Austin Reeves, nowhere to be found.
Well, I mean, yet. You know, like, I just don't. Why would LeBron and Steph have the most pressure on themselves to win a title?
Which is more ridiculous?
It makes no sense, either of them.
As you say, the LeBron thing, though, is an admission of his greatness, really, is what Stephen A. is kind of. He doesn't even know he's doing it, but that's.
He's in year 22, and he has the most
one,
pressure.
But the Steph Curry one doesn't really.
Well, neither
neither
of them. I mean, why not say Kevin Durant, who, by the way, hit 30,000 points last night?
Sure,
joins a rare club. Yeah. Why not say Kevin Durant? I mean, he went to Golden State to win a couple, but, you know, and he was great in those, and he was the MVP. But
didn't get dealt.
Like, I don't think any of those veteran guys should be on the list.
Nas26 says no one is expecting LeBron to win.
Well, Stephen A. Smith says it's the most pressure in the whole league on this guy. That's why I thought it was a screen cap that had just been put out from like 5 years ago. But apparently that's not the case. Oh, I didn't want to get that fired up today, but
Bronx the Boilermaker says seems like Angry Dusty doesn't cough.
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
Maybe when you're
I'm on my TSN 1260 water bottle.
Your BPMs. Yeah, what's going on there?
That's a throwback, eh?
What's going on there? Yeah.
Plus, I got my Pedialyte, my Hydrolyte mixed in here.
Get one of those EST water bottles in. Actually, it's not a bad idea.
I don't know if I'm allowed to use those. But to ask permission for that stuff. All right, let's get into that hurts for James H. Brown, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Yes. I'm waiting for this.
If you've been injured in an accident, go to jameshbrown.com. Get a consultation. They'll tell you exactly how they'll get the job done for you. And they'll get you the settlement you deserve because they have over 200 years of experience. Go see Trent and the team at James H. Brown. All right, Trev, you got that picture of this trophy?
What do you mean, just this trophy?
This unnamed trophy?
Come on, give it the respect it deserves.
All right, so we are looking at, if you're watching YouTube, you'll be able to see it. If you are listening on iHeart or TuneIn, Eric, how would you describe this trophy? Bring it in.
When I saw it the first time, I thought it was kind of like they were looking for ideas, and somebody said, "Hey, I have a mold you can use." So they said, "Okay," and then they poured the hot molten liquid into there, and boom comes out. That, or it's 3D printed, which I would really enjoy.
Does it look 3D printed?
I'm just because it's.
I mean, it kind of does.
It's just I don't know. It's nice. It's not ugly. Like I've seen ugly trophies. It's just kind of. Let's be honest.
I got to see it in person. Like it looks huge.
Anything they rolled out, we would be. You know, that's the tournament's got a bullseye on it in terms of making fun of things.
I think there's a way that we could have looked at it and been like, "Oh, that's pretty slick."
Is that slick to you?
No.
Why is it too choppy on the corners?
It almost looks kind of old.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a picture that we're seeing there.
I do like it being used for something else and now they're repurposing it, hey? Just kind of scrubbed off the prior
and switched it up. Like there's just a lot of empty space in there. And I guess they'll add the team lists around the edge and stuff.
This isn't the first Four Nations face-off.
But...
Or last.
I don't know. And they don't have a name for it yet. You think if you're going to roll out a trophy for an event, you have a name for this thing.
The nation that wins this tournament first, henceforth, will be named after.
So that'll be called the Canada Cup,
the Sweden Cup. Or, I mean, there's 4 possibilities.
Yeah. Anyway, I think overall, it just looks massive for an event that's just getting going.
And they get medals, too. And cash.
They get medals and
cash. Cash. Straight cash.
Uncle Jesse says it looks cloudy, like finger grime all over it.
Yeah,
they need a keeper of the Four Nations Cup to polish that MAFK'er up.
The cup part of it at the top is shinier than the bottom has got all hand grease.
Don't necessarily love it.
I don't hate it.
But I want to see it next to a human.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
for scale.
Is it like it looks like it's this big. It looks like it's 3 feet tall. But is it only, is it?
One hand. Can you lift it with one hand?
That's what I'm trying to figure out here.
Tournament for ants.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in on that. Strummy says it looks like a bigger version of those Nerf footballs that you throw and they whistle. Yeah, they got the little tail on them.
Yeah.
That is kind of what it looks like.
Lucas says he has goosebumps looking at the trophy.
RBM says there's way dumber trophies out there. Four Nations is just a standard trophy to me.
Yes, it's something you'd go down at the hobby shop and we need a fantasy football league or something.
Tube Sock says I think the player of the game should win a loony stick. That would be kind of funny.
They probably rushed the production of the trophy to avoid these steel and aluminum tariffs.
Makes
somebody
sense.
Says. Yeah,
it definitely makes sense. That's a good one. That's a good one as well. But what do you do for a name? Like outside of whoever wins it gets it. What do you call this thing? Do you pick somebody famous from international hockey and name it after them, or what do you do? You just call it the Four Nations Cup.
Hey, that's got a ring to it.
Thanks, man. What I did was I changed the name of Four Nations Face-Off. I took out the word face-off and I put cup on it.
Maybe you leave face-off in.
The Four Nations Face-Off Cup. That seems a little wordy.
Hey, yeah.
Guys, that trophy's from Amazon, and when it gets delivered, they'll find out it's only 6 inches tall. Trev, what do you think of this? What do you think of this trophy?
What do you call it?
Do you have any suggestions for a name?
The Connor McDavid Cup.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it was just put together last second. I feel like it's very top heavy. It's unproportioned. I don't know. I'm not looking at this cup and I'm not going to be like talking about this in 20 years time when I have children and they're going to ask about the Four Nations face-off. I'm not going to talk about how magnificent this cup looks. I probably would have forgotten about it. And then I'll look back and be like, oh yeah, it was pretty ugly. So, doesn't move the needle.
You're right about the top heaviness of it.
Yeah, like that part.
The cup part of the top is really big.
It's like way too big for like whatever you want to call the bottom part of it. They're the exact same size. So, I give it a 4.5.
This text is in and says, just call it the Nations Cup.
Hey.
The Nations
So you're taking away the 4.
Yeah. That way, if the tournament ever expands, it could still just be called the Nations Cup.
Is it allowed to
I don't know. Strummy says it should be the Harry Stamper Trophy because it looks like a drill bit from Armageddon. Harry Stamper, of course, Bruce Willis's character in Armageddon.
Tube Socks just wants it called by like a first name, like Derek or Greg. Timu Trophy is getting a lot of love as well.
Quaddy says that thing's bigger than Jack Hughes.
Big Slam Nasty Ass is the keeper of the Four Nations Cup Atif. Given how
because it's just so dirty and blurry, like his glasses.
Not bad.
Somebody's saying, what about the Gretzky Cup?
Hey. He has a lot of history with this great one. Yeah.
There's some things to look at there. Troll says it looks like a trophy from a long-time folded sports league.
We tape a photo of Nick Cage to it, name it the Castor Troy Cup. Comes in from AA.
There we go. Now we're getting carried away. All right, on the way, Jamie McLennan's going to join us. We'll also have Eric Macramalla in the second hour and Greg Wyshynski just after 8:30 today. Right now, let's get to a sports update for Nisku Glass. Lieutenant Eric with the latest in the world of sports.
Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada as action will get underway at the Four Nations face-off between Canada and Sweden. Puck drop from Montreal tonight at 6. Sidney Crosby, meanwhile, moving to the wing yesterday with Nathan McKinnon centering a line with him and Mark Stone. Tomorrow it'll be Finland and the USA dropping the puck in Montreal. Oil Kings host the Regina Pats tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7 o'clock. Oil Kings will hit the road and visit the Red Deer Rebels on Friday. Over to the NBA, Scotty Barnes had 33, leading the Raptors over the 76ers 106-103. Toronto snapping a 4-game skid. Pistons all over the Bulls 132-92. Karl Anthony Towns had 40 points. The Knicks topping the Pacers 128-115. And John Morant and the Grizzlies would hold on for a 119-112 victory over the Suns. 15 games around the NBA tonight, including the Raptors hosting the Cavaliers, while the Lakers are in Utah to take on the Jazz. Elks made it official yesterday, signing 6 players as CFL free agency opened up, including Canadian defensive back Royce Mechie on a 2-year deal. Jake Seresna, Robbie Smith, David Beard, and Tyrell Ford are all scheduled for medicals later this morning. While on the coaching side, former Elk defensive coordinator Jason Shivers will reportedly be named as the new Argonauts DC. Sports Update brought to you by Nisku Glass. We want to thank EST and all the listeners and viewers. What better way than to give them a deal? If you mention Edmonton Sports Talk or present your Nasty Club membership, you get a 10% discount on windshields, glass, or any of your window and door orders. Call them today to get that ugly broken windshield replaced or to start planning your winter and spring renovation projects now.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad guys. Like Wyshynski and Noodles, Gadget can gauge it. Maybe it's fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat up the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about Randy Canes? Macramalla, Rapaport, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him given person, does he go forth? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
7:02 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. Dusty, Lieutenant Eric with you, YouTube Trev as well. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio today, where they've got the $4 value menu, 5-piece nuggets, fried pickles, mini chicken wrap, mini chicken sandwich, blackened cauliflower, perfect snackable items that can round out your favorite Popeyes meal.
Sounds like a good 4-nation supper right there, eh?
Not a bad idea. Well, for 6 o'clock puck drop?
Mm-hmm.
Send in your Macramalla interest today to the Paris Jewelers inbox. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Busy week at parisjewelers.com. EST legal analyst and one-legged guy who likes to hang out at ATMs so he can tell strangers that he's checking his balance. Eric Macala.
That's pretty good.
That's a phony one. Strummy. EST legal analyst and guy who lies about being a veteran so he can shop at Old Navy. Eric Macramalla. That's a good one too. He'll be joining us around 7:45 today. If you have any Macramalla angels, send them in to the Paris Jewelers inbox. Dusty is unknowingly saving us from extraterrestrial domination with that cough. They'll follow the signal to Earth and then leave quietly so they don't catch it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Or maybe you're being activated by your long lost.
You think that's what it is?
You know,
Eric, it's happening.
We should ask our next guest his thoughts on the whole topic.
On the whole...
just in general, the broad view.
Well, Reed Wilkins' show laid out yesterday. An alien guest on... No, he wasn't an alien. He was a UFO guy.
According to my theory.
All right, we've got Jamie McLennan joining us. We're going to talk Four Nations, obviously. Brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. The order deadline for private signings with Matthias Yammerk and Brett Kulak is today, 5 o'clock. Submit your items or select from there. It's located in Edmonton, the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. All right, let's bring in Jamie McLennan today. Jamie, the Reed Wilkins show yesterday from 3 to 6 here on Edmonton Sports Talk was talking about aliens and if you believe in them or not. Where do you come out on the extraterrestrial existence?
I am a conspiracy theorist. So, I mean, I get caught down these rabbit holes where you're like, maybe that could have happened and maybe this type of thing. So I do believe there is an alternate form of life. I don't know what it is. I don't have the answers. I am afraid that at some point, we're going to turn around and be like, oh, that person makes sense. That guy's an alien. Maybe it's, people are going to be like, okay, Connor McDavid is a cyborg. Who knows? At the end of the day, I do believe there is something, but I need more proof, and I'm not sure if we have it or not.
I had to think, and this would be a fun one, if you had to guess one athlete today to be an alien, it's got to be Victor Wembanyama. Like that dude does not look human, and he's ridiculous for the Spurs. Like
it's awkward to watch him because his legs are so long.
Yeah,
like he's kind of got a grasshopper look. Like it's just kind of, he's. I also remember. I don't know if you remember the Seinfeld episode where Kramer dominated the dojo. It was like he was the man with the children. That's kind of how I see Wembanyama. Once he fills out, like I don't know if he'll ever be a big man. He might have Durant kind of legs, but I feel like he will be dominating the dojo at some point in this league.
Watching Wemby, I'm just waiting for. I think it feels awful to say it, but you're just waiting for his legs to snap. Like he's just it's
the second coming of Manute Bol.
I mean, if anybody was an alien, it would probably be that guy. Hampton Steve texts in and says a goalie being a conspiracy theorist. That tracks. Right? They always say goalies are weird ones. Hey, Noodles, I was.
I'm not gonna challenge that theory. I think who was that? Steve.
Steve.
Yeah, he's right.
Hey, I was looking yesterday. I was just trying to look back and see if you ever played for Canada at any sort of tournament. I don't think you did. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then I also saw that you were you won the Sportsmanship of the Year award one year, which I found kind of amusing considering you're suspended at the end of your career. Like I thought that really lined up well.
Well, I mean, okay, so I won the Masterton in '98. That was for dedication and sportsmanship, all of that to hockey. I'd come back from bacterial meningitis. I had to reteach myself to walk, all of that fun stuff. So that was kind of, I believed I had 9 lives at that point. It was a sick point in my life there, but I was able to, I didn't miss really any hockey. I just had to go to the minors for a year to kind of, recover and get my life back in order. But I mean, I did get that award, and then I did end my career on a suspension. But I still believe it's a big misunderstanding. It doesn't look like one, but it was. And, I went to try and start a line brawl when I got put in, and I slashed a Johan Franzen, and it looks like I slashed him in the stomach. I slashed him in his right pant. So I'm looking at it. And he drops. I thought I would still be laying there if he attacked me. I wanted, he was so big. He was such a big man. But I even talked to him like many years after. We had talked about it several times. And he just said to me that I surprised him. And I kind of thought that he took a dive on the play, but it did look vicious. It did look awful. And, I was a non-factor in that series. That's why I got suspended. I played 18 seconds. I was the backup goalie. So, that's kind of my condensed Coles Notes version of what happened. My heart rate didn't get above 80 beats. I just was trying to start some nonsense, and I was the only guy who drew the nonsense. So it was a stupid play by me. I got suspended. I got fined, I think, $150,000. I still owe the league 4 games. They'll never get them out of me. I can barely touch my toes now at 53 years old. So I'm never playing again.
4 Nations begins tonight. Let's just start with the generic question. We know our YouTube Trev here is very excited for this game. I'm somewhat excited. Eric's not overly excited. Where do you come out on this?
I was lukewarm. I was about 50%, maybe less, leading up to this because, we get caught in the media going best on best. And I'm like, okay, well, Leon Draisaitl's not playing. Shesterkin's not playing. Vasilevsky, Kucherov. You can go down the list. I think of the top 10 players in the league, there might be 4 or 5 missing. But that being said, I've kind of changed my tune. You see the guys skating around there. It is going to be Canada's best at this time versus the U.S. best at this time, minus Quinn Hughes. You're seeing other countries, Finland and Sweden putting up their best right now. There is some injuries that are kind of riddling it a little bit. But it is exciting to kind of have some form of different hockey. And it's better. Anything's better than an all-star game because that's nonsense. And I know those weekends are good for the local city, but watching them watching a 15-12 game where nobody's trying. And even last year, they had those events and stuff, and Kucherov was floating through and not trying, and it was just a weird situation. So I am looking forward to it. I was probably about 30% before. I'm about 80%, and I'll be 100% if I see the effort level. Like if I see the guys are really invested and really trying, I think I'll get there. I think it'll be pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I kind of land probably in the more curious zone in terms of this tournament, Noodles, and just kind of what you mentioned there in terms of best on best. And I know Sweden tonight, the opponent will be without arguably their best goaltender in Markstrom. I wanted to get your thoughts. I mean, Jordan Binnington named the starter yesterday. It doesn't look like there will be any sort of rotation or tandem or anything like that. But looking at Sweden, I know you cover the Sens. You've spent some time around Linus Ullmark. I mean, him and Gustafsson come in here at exact same save percentage, probably quite a similar record, it looks like. But who do you think they'll lean towards, or maybe go off a tandem of the two of them? Where do you think they kind of go with that play tonight?
I feel like it's going to be a tandem. I mean, Ullmark is so far proven this year that, he's been banged up a couple times. We don't see him play a lot of games consecutively. So, I don't think he's a guy that plays a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday type of scenario. And I know the games are spaced out a little bit, so you get an opportunity, Wednesday, Saturday type of thing. But I would argue they'd probably see both of them in Gustafsson and Ullmark. Ullmark's a good goaltender. The biggest challenge is just staying healthy for him. Now, he played Tuesday, he played Saturday in Florida before the tournament. So it seems like he is healthy and he is ready to go. Gustafsson's a good goaltender. He's, had tremendous success. Now, you have to take a look at Minnesota. They protect their goalies pretty well, but Gustafsson's done a good job there. So I can see they kind of got we'll call it a two-headed monster, because both of them are good goalies in good situations. I think they're going to start Ullmark and then see how he plays and go from there. But, I think goaltending is going to be the story, just whether you have it or whether you don't. And I know I'll just pivot to Canadian goaltending. Everyone's talking about Jordan Binnington getting the start. Well, I'll tell you guys this. I grew up on Butterfield Crescent in St. Albert, Alberta. And it was a little corner, and we used to have we'd set up and play road hockey. And when we played road hockey, we always dreamed of playing Game 7 Stanley Cup final. It wasn't, a Wednesday Four Nations Cup, or it wasn't, a Tuesday in Carolina. I will say this. Jordan Binnington has played a Game 7 Stanley Cup final and won. So he's played on the biggest stage and had success. Aiden Hill, same situation, won a Stanley Cup on the biggest stage. So, yes, are they not as sexy on paper as the other guys, as guys who've won Vezinas and maybe have a little bit more cachet? But the Canadian goaltending, if it can hold up, have been there and done that. So that's what I would rely on, is their experience. And, the one thing that if you look at that Canadian roster, it's quite deep. I think you can have a scenario where the goaltending, you just have to be good.
Yes.
You don't have to win them the game, but you cannot lose them the game, if that makes sense. And that's the Edmonton Oilers model. That's Stuart Skinner and the Edmonton Oilers. It's, don't cost the game, but make the saves that you should, and maybe a couple that you shouldn't. And that's the long time argument people have had in Edmonton about Stuart Skinner, is he's just got to be good enough to get them through. I think that's going to be the thought process for Canadian goaltending.
I'm glad you brought that up,
because that's Gager's theory as well.
Yeah, well, that's where I was going to go next. Is like, you don't need somebody to steal this tournament between the pipes for Canada. If you do, then something's not going well, in front of them. So, the goaltenders, I don't think these Canadian goaltenders would cost them a tournament. Now, what about the United States with Hellebuck, and the fact, what up on the other side? Like, he's having an incredible season.
Yeah,
could he win them the tournament with the way he's played?
I mean, they're a deep team. I would argue that the U.S. team might be deeper than the Canadian team. Now, Quinn Hughes is a massive blow, because you're not replacing Quinn Hughes, but you've got, a lot of great defensemen there. I think Zach Werenski will probably carry the mail. But you're looking at a possibility, because I think Hellebuck, now listen, he's got something to prove too. his last couple playoffs have not been great for the Winnipeg Jets. And he's kind of got that tag to him right now. So I look at this, there might be some guys individually that could exercise some demons here if you have some success in a short tournament. And I know it's different than the Stanley Cup playoffs, all of that type of stuff. But I think the magnitude of it is being built up, that this guy's a playoff performer, this guy's not. So can they, in a vacuum, have some success and maybe shake that off? I know in Toronto, people are talking about the, Nylander, Matthews, and Marner. One of those guys could come out a winner, and maybe that would help them with their playoff, lack of success. So I think there is individually lots to gain here. Hellebuck could steal them the tournament. I don't think you'd have to, but if it came to a scenario where, let's say it's USA and Canada playing, and Canada just can't beat this guy because he's that good, that's something that he could build on. But I wouldn't sleep on these other countries. I'll say this, Dusty, you've done that international hockey.
Yeah.
These countries show up, and it may not be the sexiest of names, but they play together, they train together in the summer. They have more chemistry. They might be tied, connected as far as systems. And you might find a way where all of a sudden Finland looks really good, and Canada and the USA just has an all-star team, but looks disjointed from a chemistry standpoint.
Yeah, it's something to obviously keep tabs on. You mentioned there about what guys could take away from this event, and we might have discussed it with you a few months back, but I feel like I might be exaggerating a little bit on this, but how much do you think it will help Connor McDavid just being around Sidney Crosby at an event like this?
I think it goes a long way. Just, in season, we all know what the season gets like. It's, you're tired, and it's kind of the dog days of February. This might reinvigorate him. Practicing with top-tier players drags it out of you, too. I remember Jerome McGinley telling me when he would go to these Olympic camps, at practice, guys, I wouldn't say it, but a lot of times guys practice maybe 90%. They're not at 100, but all of a sudden, Jerome said he could never score on the goalies in practice. So, guys were leaning on you, like the intensity level. I think there's some of the details and the habits that you can pick up from other elite players around you, and it almost makes you raise your level. So absolutely, I think Connor McDavid being around Nathan McKinnon, being around Sidney Crosby, seeing how they prepare for games, how they handle in-game frustrations or adjustments, it's going to really help Connor McDavid just kind of with his psyche. And that being said, there'll be a lot of guys watching him and learning from him, seeing, okay, what is the best guy in the world, the best player on the planet do to get ready for a game to harness his skill.
Seth Jarvis seated between Crosby and McDavid as well in the locker room. Like he's got the seat.
How about that guy?
You talk about learning. I mean, keep your ears open and just listen away. I wanted your thoughts, Noodles, too, on just the lines quickly here. I mean, Crosby moving to the wing yesterday. I know we're all frothing over that potential power play one, but your thoughts on the lines, specifically top six. How do you like him, and do you agree with what Cooper's kind of laid out?
I do, and obviously he threw everybody for a bit of a loop where he had Crosby at center ice the first day, and then everyone's like, well, why would you have McKinnon? And the one thing I will point out, and I just did 2 Tampa games last week, John Cooper is a master at manipulating lines. You'll see him. I'll give you an example. He likes to work in pairs. So he has Point and Kucherov, and then all of a sudden you see Nick Paul there out of nowhere on that left side. Or it was Jake Gensel for a bit. I think what you're going to see is John Cooper, kind of have in his mind who he wants to play together. But then he might see something, and out of nowhere, all of a sudden this guy's on the left side between McKinnon and Crosby, or if Crosby's playing the left side, it's McKinnon, and then he finds Braden Point slides up there for a shift. Like, to me, he's got a wealth of knowledge or wealth of resources to work with, and he's a guy who's an unbelievable coach. So I think the exciting part is just, for me, it's going to be, what's that PP1 going to look like? Who's skating the puck in? Is it going to be McDavid, McCarr, or McKinnon that's going to skate that puck in over the line? And the one thing I'll point out, I know I'm getting wordy here, but I don't want them to see them defer to people. You know, like, hey, I'm playing with Sidney Crosby, so I got to get him the puck. Yeah. Get the guy who's open the puck. And you know, sometimes these skilled players have to be selfish in certain areas. And you know, we see Connor and Leon, you know, non-selfish plays trying to force feed it to guys where maybe they have a partial breakaway. I don't want to see that in this tournament. It's about scoring goals, and who cares, you know, who scores them. You gotta have success.
Noodles, as always, buddy, really appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
All right, thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Jamie McLennan, obviously NHL analyst with TSN, co-host on Overdrive, and joins us every single Wednesday morning right here on the Nielson Show. As always, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, where they do have all that Team Canada swag locked and loaded for you.
And he's a believer, a true believer,
true believer in the aliens, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that alien. I don't want to get sidetracked again.
That's the problem. When you're gone and Will steps in to do a show, he always gets me on some dirt path, and I can't get off. I get stuck in the tread.
Who knows? You might get a dose of phrase tomorrow. We'll have to see.
I'm banking on it. I thought it'd be today.
It's almost. I almost want to just not be in tomorrow so I can wake up and watch Phrase on Aliens for 3 hours.
Yeah,
I think that would be pretty good. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to dive in and build a little parlay for this Canada-Sweden game tonight. Why not? Look at these names on the same, like, McDavid, McKinnon,
I can't believe it.
Crosby. Like, it's crazy.
It's the best on best.
Yeah, well,
that's what they're saying.
For these nations. For these nations, it is.
4 nations, 3 winners.
Best on best. Poor Finland. Blue line's banged up.
Well, that's pretty much.
You know what?
Who gets gold?
The Finns always they fight.
As Noodle said, it could be a all hands on the pump.
Can you imagine Finland pulling this thing off, though?
I can. They have a 1 in 4 chance.
Those are the odds, Eric. That's right. Actually, let me see if I got the.
Well, nothing true, but I mean,
a little bit of a longer shot.
Sure, I would say so.
Sorry, boys.
Coolbet.com is where you can go for the.
There you go. Yeah. All right. So let's dive into this game tonight. Canada, Sweden. I don't know how we put together a parlay that doesn't have a point for McDavid, a point for Crosby,
and Adrian.
We have to start there.
Over under 2.5 shots.
McDavid point. Adrian Kempe over 2.5. McDavid point. Mm-hmm. Let's just go big. Not big, but the big boys. McDavid point, McKinnon point,
Marner point,
Crosby point. What's a Makar point? Why is Makar not a little higher? There is a Makar point. Canada wins. McDavid point, Makar point, McKinnon point, Crosby point. Canada wins. Trev, is that crazy?
Oh, it's not crazy at all, Dusty. I'm for it. I can't wait. Oh yeah, just hearing Noodles talk about tonight's lineup. And hearing stories about Iggy, oh yeah, that brings me back. So I'm pumped.
So you're pretty excited for this?
Back to the old days, yeah.
Oh,
I'll send this to the Lock Shop boys.
And that's the thing. Like you can have, there's just so many options, and I don't think there's any wrong options here. Just looking at the talent, it's going to be so much fun. Oh,
just give them the trophy now, the Four Nations Cup. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Somebody's saying it's not best on best.
A lot of people are saying that, yeah.
What?
Well, no, but I mean, technically for these 4 teams, it is.
Yes, it's the best of the best.
For these 4 teams, it is best on best.
Yes.
But
we're just missing a couple of nations. Now, I mean, I think it was RCN in the chat who basically said, so Leon Draisaitl and a bunch of Germans who don't play in the NHL, are we going to make this tournament better? Well,
he made your list today. Jonas Brodin
Draisaitl did, but not the rest of the German team.
Well, yeah.
Amishman 19 says YouTube Trev is going to punch himself in the face in excitement.
I might.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't.
It doesn't matter because you got a red jersey on. It'll be.
You can't say that it's not best on best. It's best on best.
It is best.
It's just 4 nations. It's just the 4 teams. I mean,
it's the best of these 4 teams.
It's the best. It's the best players from these 4 countries going ahead. Technically, by definition, that would be a best on best tournament.
Yeah, except they're just missing a lot of real good players.
On other teams. But for these 4 teams, it's best on best. Which was what people have been bitching about for a long time. I didn't think people would be so like, oh, where's Czechia?
I know.
Like,
Southside Stovey says Team Europe.
You're getting the top 4 hockey nations going head to head here. with all of their best players.
The best of these four nations.
Yeah.
It's the four nations face-off.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Ducky says only two teams are really missing. Russia and Czechia.
Oh, and Great Britain.
Yeah, there's to get the best on best there, right? Hey, has Dusty developed the black lung from all of his time working in the mine?
Yeah.
Pop? No. Dusty, you sound like a horse on a slow walk to the glue factory. Yeah. Abutsky says, EST legal analyst, and geez, Dusty, don't die. Yeah, there's obviously a little tickle in my throat here.
We'll miss you at the fun spiel.
I don't want to miss anything.
Have fun
That's
in
why
Boston.
I'm going to go to the doctor today.
Yeah. You got...
There's got to be something they can give me for this ridiculous cough. And what's crazy is like it didn't keep me up through the night. Like I wasn't coughing through the
so
night.
the whole
It's
back
just
when
like
you had
start
to sit up.
No, I just started. You would start talking and start coughing. But as Maddie said yesterday, I was just hungover. That's what it was. That's a tough look.
Library Pat the Narc chiming in.
Yeah,
here.
the narc. Guys, they should have done four nations and an everyone else team. Yeah, but when they did that before, you bitched about it too.
And everyone else team.
And
I like so 5 nations.
Yeah, so then
you'll have the best on best.
Well, first of all, Russians aren't allowed to compete anyway.
Yes.
So you're still not going to have best on best even on the everyone else team. And then what's like, I'm sorry, but putting on a jersey for the everyone else team just doesn't work. Remember the last tournament when it was the Young Stars and it was Team Europe and stuff? Like, did that really suck you in? Or should we just accept that it's a mid-season tournament and you've got the top 4 hockey nations with their best players facing the other guy's best players? Let's see. The only thing that I'm doubting is, like, what's the effort going to look like tonight? I think if the effort is there, people are going to buy into this tournament rather quickly.
These guys grow up dreaming of playing for that trophy that we saw in the opening hour. And they will be going...
Man, you really hate this tournament, don't you?
I don't hate anything.
It sounds like you hate this tournament.
Well, I'm sorry. I have an opinion. And it doesn't go with everybody else's. I'm curious.
So you don't care about seeing McDavid and Crosby together for Team Canada?
Not if it's not the Olympics.
So it's only the Olympics. That's
Pretty
fine.
much.
So like Canada Cup. Like
yeah.
Okay.
And even
Well,
still,
that's fair,
I'm
right?
a believer that most people, I think, are fans of their club team. And I think the importance of getting a Stanley Cup for Oilers fans probably outweighs seeing McDavid go full bore at a tournament.
So then you shouldn't play in the Olympics either.
Well, the Olympics is different. That's a gold medal. That's something that guys dream of playing internationally.
If people if they only care about him winning a Stanley Cup, then they shouldn't want him playing the Olympics either.
I think you can rank Stanley Cup, Olympics, and then Four Nations is...
Well, it's way down. We haven't even seen it yet.
No, I know, but we've seen the tournament is nothing. It's an exhibition for the Olympics. The Olympics means something to people. It means something to guys. It means something. But again, we're dressing this thing up, and I get it. And it's a precursor to the Olympics.
I don't think anybody's dressing it up. Everybody's bitching about it. Like nobody's
I'm not bitching about it at all.
Well, you're kind of bitching about it.
No. I'm just not. I haven't drank all the Kool-Aid. I'm not wearing a Canada
mocking
jersey.
the entire tournament all day.
Because it's
making fun of me.
I didn't make fun of you at all. I'm not going to be the enemy here. I'm just saying I'm not going full Jason Milne.
Milne guy. He's not even going to watch.
If you want me to lie, if you want me to just kind of,
Well, no. But
I can't get artificially. And especially when the Oilers are in a position like they are right now this season.
But they'll be in this position for the Olympics too.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if McDavid gets hurt at the Olympics, what are we going to say there? Like,
well, if he probably won't get hurt at either. I'm just saying I wouldn't want my star players. And we forget about Ekholm as well, and representing Sweden and all that. I mean, these are two. Draisaitl gets a break. It's nice. But I think again, the Olympics probably mean more to these guys than this tournament, and that's. Doesn't mean we can't get excited and watch these guys skate around on the power play. But again, I'm not bashing it so much as I said I'm curious.
But you think they're going to go through the motions?
I don't think they're going to go through the motions. I just think sometimes psychologically, it's not going to be like Game 7 of a conference final or something in the back of their minds at times.
So if Canada plays the U.S. in a final, they won't be going balls to the wall.
I just think psychologically,
I don't see a world where Connor McDavid's representing Team Canada and he's playing against the United States in a best on best for these two nations, and goes through the motions because he doesn't want to get hurt. Like, I just don't see where that exists.
I think if you play going through the motions, you're going to get hurt in sports. That's usually what happens. You have to be going all out. I'm just saying deep psychologically, like it's just that muscle memory and that muscle motion of kids grow up dreaming of playing for the Stanley Cup. That's your... It's the same with the Grey Cup. Like nobody in the States grows up dreaming of playing for the Grey Cup. Unfortunately, that's how it is. It's all about that one specific trophy that you've had stenciled into your psyche your entire life. And when it's not that, even though it's a big game against the States, even though it's a final, even though it's all of these things, and even the Olympics too. Like kids grow up dreaming playing for the Stanley Cup. The Olympics is like right there underneath it. But this one psychologically is a little deeper down. That's why I argue that maybe it's just they're going to be up for it. They're not going to be skating around and having a shinny game. I'm not saying that. But I just think in moments there might be a psychological lapse in terms of their whole lives dreaming of playing for something as opposed to this tournament just getting created out of thin air.
I think Canadian kids grow up not thinking like. I think you're most of them probably would rather play World Juniors. That's that too. Like nothing against the Olympics.
Yeah. If you want,
when the Canada Cup didn't exist, nobody was like, oh, all these young hockey guys want to grow up and play in the bloody Olympics. Like that was never a thing until they were allowed in the Olympics. And then I still don't think, I think it's about putting on your Canadian jersey and representing your country.
Sure, but
regardless of the tournament.
The World Championships, I mean, you have that tournament going on, and it's like guys show up and everything, but it's just, I don't know. I think there's levels to these, and World Juniors certainly. I mean, there's one that you could say for young guys who may not, a pro career isn't guaranteed, that means a lot more as well. I'm curious. I want to see. I'm just thinking that
it'll be interesting to see what the effort looks like.
Yeah.
This text is in from the Propane Pimp, says the effort will look very much like a meaningful mid-regular season game. Nobody's laying out their limbs to win this. I'll be watching, but there will be no bragging or complaining about the results, which I'm going to hold you to, Propane Pimp. Because if Canada wins this, people will be bragging. Let's be honest.
And if they lose,
they beat Canada, they beat the United States and Sweden, and it was the best players from all those countries. Like,
you know what Wyshynski's going to do?
Don't tell me there's going to be no bragging or complaining about the results. Like, come on. Department of News Defense says, I'm kind of like Lieutenant Eric. If Canada loses, my reaction, meh. If Canada wins, same reaction. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see how that plays out. All right, 780-218-9990. And we'll get into this with Eric Macramalla as well. Greg Wyshynski will join us. We'll obviously get his thoughts on the United States squad as they'll open up against Finland. Canada gets Sweden tonight, 6 o'clock puck drop. 780-218-9999. We've got free advice for Damon Bunting and Macramalla on the other side of 7:30 here before 8 o'clock. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be very much appreciated this morning. And we're 22 away from changing 200. So let's do that while Eric gets the sports update for Park Mazda.
Jordan Binnington will start for Canada tonight as action gets underway at the Four Nations face-off from Montreal. It'll be Canada taking on Sweden. Sidney Crosby moving to the wing yesterday with Nathan McKinnon centering that line alongside Mark Stone. Puck drop tonight, 6 o'clock. Finland will take on the USA tomorrow. Back in Montreal as well. The Oil Kings host the Regina Pats tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7. Oil Kings will hit the road and visit Red Deer on Friday. Last night in the NBA, 4 games, one of which saw the Raptors snap a 4-game slide, 106-103 over Philly. Pistons romped the Bulls 132-92. Karl Anthony Towns had 40 points. Knicks top and the Pacers 128-115. And the Grizzlies would hold on for a 119-112 win over the Suns. 15 games around the NBA tonight, including the Raptors hosting the Cavs while the Lakers visit the Jazz. Over to the CFL, the Elks made official deals with 6 players yesterday, including Canadian defensive back Royce Mechie on a 2-year deal. Jake Seresna, Robbie Smith, David Beard, and Tyrell Ford are all reportedly scheduled for medicals later today, while former Elks defensive coordinator Jason Shivers, he is reportedly to be named as the new Argonauts DC. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, who can't wait for puck drop at the Four Nations face-off.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
I am a Zakai man with the Leafs I used to ride, with Austin Matthews by my side. I scored a couple and I had a little fun. Signed with the Oilers in July of 21. The Leafs let me walk because they thought I had no soul. Now I'm over 50 goals. I'm the dangler from way across the other side, where Beamers and Audis are supplied. Third overall in the draft 2014. Got a one-timer like the game has never seen. Bottom of the circle is the place where I get set. It's going in the net. I'm Nugent Hopkins. I was born in 93. All the way from Burnaby. Played some junior for Red Deer and had a ball. Signed with the Oilers when I went first overall. My two-way game, they said, is totally complete. The best in the league. The best in the league. The league. The league. The league. I'm Connor McDavid. I'm sure you've all seen my work. I'm not from this planet Earth. I'm deadly serious when I'm telling you what's up. My soul, it will not rest until we hoist the cup. Do what it takes through all the struggle and the pain, till just the oil remains. And we're gonna win again and again and again and again and again and again.
7:38 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. We'll get some more of your text messages as we work our way through the show. Nielson Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his family-friendly team at South Fort Chev. They've got the 2025 tracks on now for less than $350 bi-weekly. If you are watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be great. 6 away from changing to 100. And all right, so Trev, you posted up a little poll here. Are you excited for Canada-Sweden? 70% yes, 30% no. That's kind of, I mean,
I voted yes. Look at me.
No, you didn't.
69%, 70. 67.
I didn't even, I
voted yes.
I don't think I can vote. How come I'm not allowed to vote? That makes me sad. I guess it's because I'm logged in our channel. Trev, 70-30. Does that is kind of what you would have expected from that poll? And just so everybody knows, Trev is in the Hockey Canada sweater today. He's very excited for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I thought it would have been a little bit more split. I thought it would have been maybe 50-50, actually.
So you think people are more excited than you thought?
Yeah, people are more excited than I thought. So that's nice to see.
Doesn't sign text guy said, interesting idea for best on best. 48 to 55 forwards, top 32D, 12 goalies, name 4 managers and draft them all.
So an all-star game.
Well, but not voted on or any of that. Have a fantasy draft.
Yeah, but why are the players going to care about that?
Make a trophy and call it the.
No, but they're not putting on the Canadian jersey.
Yeah, but okay, so but
like, that's the difference.
That's
the difference. They're wearing a jersey that represents their nation. I just don't see guys going through the motions if that's the case.
But it'd be best on best.
That would be a best on best tournament. But if somebody gets hurt in it, then it's be canceled forever.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but surely if there wasn't the politics going on in the world, Russia would be in this.
Of course.
And then every other country would be in this as well.
I mean, if they had Russia in it, I'm assuming Czechia. The problem is that this is an NHL driven event.
Yeah.
So you want to make it with as many NHL players as you can. Russia could provide that. Czechia probably could be close.
I see what you mean now. Yeah.
But yeah, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you want to chime in there. Let's get to free advice. Then Macramalla is going to join us. Macramalla was at the World Juniors wearing a Canadian jersey on TV.
We have the photographic and video proof.
What's his level of interest in this thing? We're gonna get into that as well. Free advice for Damon Bunting. 780-218-9999. What do you need help with? Bunting's been a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that home just right for you. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in your city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or on the Instagram handle of Damon Bunting Real Estate. All right, what do you need help with? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Would you guys trade Leon Draisaitl and Matthias Ekholm in a keeper league for Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes? Oh, boy. I mean, it's always tough with these hockey. I mean, if this is a points-only league, nothing against Ekholm, but you have to. Don't you have to take that trade? I know Draisaitl's having a monster year, but you get Jack and Quinn Hughes. Now, if there's different categories to this, I mean, I don't necessarily know how that works. I just kind of do season long and leave it, draft it, set it, a few trades here and there. But both Hughes brothers for Leon and Ekholm, if that's a points-only league, I think you have to. You don't want to give up Leon Draisaitl, but that's two pretty significant offensive pieces.
Yeah, 2 for 1.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Ekholm and his 40 points or whatever, but
this is business. Right?
I
take the heart out of it.
I think I'd probably have to do that.
Yeah, listen to the mind.
Didn't think I'd say many situations where you're trading away Leon Draisaitl in fantasy, but that might be one of them. Boys, it's me, the Super Bowl party guy, who went to that party with my new girlfriend and her work buddies. Things went well, and now they've invited me into their Dynasty Fantasy Football League. Clearly, I've never played fantasy football. Should I accept the invite? Remember this guy?
I think you have to now. You've gone
to that party?
Yeah, you can't.
He listened to our advice. That's great.
He did. Now, the problem, though, is that Dynasty Fantasy Football is a whole nother beast. This is not just... Like that's, I think you might be getting a little bit carried away here.
Yeah, but he can build. He can. It's not like a one and done type of thing where he'll just get his bare butt pants down.
No, but you go from guy who wasn't even sure he could go to a Super Bowl party to all of a sudden being in Dynasty Football League.
Because you'd get for a new owner on the block, right? Like you get a perk of a high pick. How does that work? If you're new to Dynasty,
there's a couple ways. He could either maybe they're starting up a Dynasty League. Or maybe he's taking over somebody else's team in a Dynasty League, which could be trash or it could be great. You never know.
That would factor in. But what is that? If you get an expansion, if you're joining would he be able to join one and make his own team then from the scraps, or he would have to take one over?
Yeah, I think he would probably take one over. If you manage to pull off almost being like fake NFL guy at Super Bowl party, I don't think, unless you really like these dudes, I don't think you jump into Dynasty Fantasy Football League with them. It's going to be tough to fake that. What you probably could say to them is, actually, I'm in so many other leagues that I don't have time for another one.
Yeah. Dr. Dry says, tell me you have too many drafts already and can't commit to another.
That might be the best way to go about it.
Then you got to keep up that act throughout the entire season as well. Which,
yeah. Then your girlfriend's like, so how are you doing in all your leagues?
like, you have to create other.
I'll just go on Yahoo and join a bunch of randoms.
Get a bunch of burner phones, text yourself.
Trev, you think that's the best way to go about it? I'm in too many leagues.
I think so. I think that's the best play. But then you're caught in a lie, and lying's not good.
It's true.
And then that could potentially, like, they could say, oh, like, how can I see your leagues? Like,
Yeah,
let
show
see
me your
them.
rosters.
And then you're gonna be like, which I may or may have not have done this season. So that's why I say
You already did this.
Yeah, I said that. Someone asked me to join. I'm like, man, I'm in like 3 leagues. And then I saw them and they were like, can I see your team, your roster?
Come
Let me
on.
see it. Yeah. And I was like, no, you don't want to see it. I was like, it's doing bad. Like, I'm embarrassed with who I drafted. They're like, no,
Oh my God.
let me see it. I'm like, no, like, I'm embarrassed. They're like, I want to see it. And I'm like, no, okay, I don't want to show you my team. So it's very awkward. So just
you are.
be careful about that.
Rusty Shackelford says, boys, it's not about the Dynasty League. What happens if it does not work out with her and you're still stuck in the league with her friends? Also a really good point.
Well, you jump ship there, eh? Like, you just, to hell with this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're never going to see her again and you don't think you...
Sell the team
Hey, but
for-
what if you have a really good roster? You might want to ride that thing out.
Well, you make a little money.
Sickler says, this is a lie. There's no such thing as too many drafts in leagues. That's a good one. Dynasty is easier than a redraft. If you suck, then you can just say you're building for the future. Yeah, that's a good one. Red says, I retired from the fantasy game years ago. I played fantasy football for 20 years. Dynasty leagues suck. I'm not a fan. Might kill the fun, especially if he's a new fan. Hit him with the old classic, I'd love to, but I think I'll have to pass.
Yeah.
Those dudes won't ask why.
Krager says, just politely say, no thanks, fantasy drafts aren't my cup of tea, but appreciate the offer.
Yeah, so there's some other options around this. I think you'll be okay.
As long as you're polite.
Yeah. Hey, the good news is that the Super Bowl thing worked out. So congratulations, man. Check that one box off. We're proud of you.
The advice hits.
Yeah. I want this guy emailing me in week 3 being like, Dusty, what do I do with Bucky Irving? I'm like, yes, my man. That's what I'm talking about.
This is you joining another league. You know that.
Yeah, in the end.
If he decides to join, asking you for advice on a weekly basis will be you in another league.
Basically setting his roster. So that's a tough one. All right, 780-218-9999. Let's get to some Macramalla intros. He's going to join us for Park Mazda. EST legal analyst and one-legged guy who likes to hang out at ATMs so he can tell strangers that he's checking his balance. EST legal analyst and guy who lies about being a veteran just so he can shop at Old Navy.
Both of those are neck and neck.
EST legal analyst and guy who uses his own name for his adult films because his work speaks for itself. EST legal analyst and guy who lost $90,000 because he bet that Travis Kelce would propose at the Super Bowl to Andy Reid. All right, let's bring in Macramalla today. He joins us. Macramalla,
What?
how are you?
My man, what was the Andy Reid? I was just responding to my wife. She wanted to make love tonight, and I said, send me an Outlook appointment, and I can decide then. So I missed the Andy Reid one. What was it?
EST
so funny,
legal
don't you-
analyst and guy who lost $90,000 because he bet that Travis Kelce would propose at the Super Bowl to Andy Reid.
To Andy Reid?
Yeah.
I guess if shouting in his face like last year is proposing, then yeah, I think that makes sense. I think this is, I don't know. I think when you lose and you become a low energy loser like Jeb Bush in the Super Bowl and you get dominated at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, like the Chiefs do.
Eh? Holy smokes.
I thought it was comical. Like I was literally laughing. That game should have come with a laugh track. And so I think that when you suffer a la Jeb Bush just like that, your whole world falls apart. So I'm making the prediction now. Okay? Prediction now that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift will break up. They'll break up because Travis will be so sad about this.
Really?
And it's going to infect everything. I mean, that was the funniest Super Bowl I've ever seen. I've never seen in a championship game.
When Mahomes threw that pick 6 to go down 17-0, I will say I was laughing and like pumping.
Yeah.
It was, it was funny.
It was funny. It would have been great if the whole game had a laugh track, right? But I can't remember in a championship game seeing a team dominate a line of scrimmage like that. Like on both sides. I can't, but I don't have a good memory. That's the problem, right? Because of my time in Vietnam. So I don't remember a lot of that.
They did it without blitzing. Like that's why they won the Super Bowl. They got a ton of pressure on Mahomes that didn't even blitz, which was crazy.
Are you saying that they sent in 4 and had seven man coverage in the backfield? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I feel like that's what you're saying. You can just say it. You don't have to beat around the bush. Just say that they sent in 4. But it wasn't. I saw one clip of Travis Kelce. I don't know who he was trying to block. It was an edge rusher.
When he just stood there?
Yeah, he's like, please, I insist.
Did you see that?
Go ahead. Please, I insist. Go ahead and hit him. The only person clapping for the Chiefs was Jeb Bush. It's my 7th Jeb Bush reference this entire segment. I can't stop. Let me know when we're live on the air, you mavericks.
That clip of Travis Kelce just standing there.
Yeah.
While Mahomes ran for his life. I mean, this is going to sound mean to say about one of the greatest tight ends of all time, but Travis Kelce kind of looks washed. Like, do you think he should even come back next year?
No, I think he's done, but like he lost a lot of muscle, right? Are you fine?
He lost a lot of what?
He didn't look the same like he did last year. He lost a lot of muscle.
A little gaunt.
Like a lot of muscle
His
mass.
hair's all long now, too. Being accused of...
No, his hair looks... His hair looks good. I think that's real amazing Kelce hair. I just, like, he showed up at camp this year and he trimmed down. Or maybe his girlfriend asked him to trim down. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, but he wasn't like he's not as big as he was last year. He's 34. They always talk about athletes falling off a cliff, right? And maybe Kelce fell off the cliff. But man, I mean, he was a step behind all night long. All night long.
How were the ribs?
The whole night. The ribs were. How did you know?
We spoke last week prior to the Super Bowl, and we just asked what
you
your
told
plans
us.
were.
You told us you were gonna have ribs.
I did. I'm such an open book, right? There are no secrets here.
Yeah.
Whenever we talk, it's real and it's raw. The ribs were very nice. In fact, I had Tyler, who owns this place called the Smoke Shack. It's like the best ribs in town. I had him on my show. I just to go through, okay, how do you set up a Super Bowl meal? What's the order of food? Like, how do you do it? And he was very good. But it was really great. The only problem is Nikki, my youngest, who's 8, really sick. So I had to cancel the party.
Oh, no.
And eat all the food myself. And then, but I still dropped off the food at friends' homes. That's the kind of guy that I am.
Wow,
right?
you are a nice guy for a busy, successful lawyer.
Yeah, very powerful too. Don't forget, extremely powerful. And he's still sick. And we have tickets to the Four Nations in Montreal, 2-hour drive from Ottawa. But it's Finland, Sweden, because I'm not paying $2,000 to see Canada, U.S. in what's a prelim game, basically. What's wrong with these people on Ticketmaster? You've seen the prices for Canada, U.S. Saturday night?
Crazy. The numbers are crazy.
It's insane. I mean, they'll come down, but I hope none of them sell their tickets. I want them to feel pain. I think it's ridiculous. It's unconscionable. It is.
Well, we have to
conscience.
We have to get your thoughts on this because, as we were saying earlier on the show, we saw you at the World Juniors in your Canadian jersey on television.
Yeah.
Big fan of the nation. What's your level of excitement for this Four Nations event?
Now, I just want to be clear. When you saw me, I was on TV too. That wasn't a jersey. I painted my entire body. Right? That's what it was. So it was really hard to get into the arena, right? Because sex sells and stuff. But so it was cold in there. It was a little bit nipply. Sorry, what was your question?
How excited are you for the Four Nations?
It's interesting, isn't it? Like I guess I need to see what it's going to look like. Because you have teams in the thick of a playoff race that are literally leaving everything on the ice every single game. Are they going to go to this little mini in-season tournament? This is what this is. It's an in-season tournament. Are they going to go there and are they going to play really hard and hit each other really hard? Or will this be something more akin to not an all-star game, but something along that spectrum? I'm curious what you guys think. I have to see it to believe it. You're right? Like I got to see it to believe it.
Curious.
Yeah, well,
what do you guys think?
We're very split on this. Trev is super excited. He's wearing his Canadian
because he's excited because he's in love with his roommate's wife.
Of course,
that's why he's excited.
I am somewhat excited about it. I will
I need
wait
you
till
toast. You want some toast?
I'm gonna
I love you so much.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
reserve my opinion. Like I just want to see the effort. Like if the effort's there tonight, like I just have a hard time believing that McDavid and Crosby put on a Canadian jersey and aren't going to be trying to win an event. And then Eric's, how would you describe your view on this?
I'm boycotting the tournament.
Why? Why are you boycotting it?
I'm not. I'm kind of with you. I'm curious. I want to see it. I just don't.
Yeah. Because it's not like it was in the old days with the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's during. Number one, it's during the season, so there's more at stake for these players on their own teams than there is here. Number one. Number two, it's not like the World Cup years ago. You know, Mario and Wayne and I think it was Dale Hawerchuk who might have scored that goal. There aren't the same. There's not the same lack of transparency when it comes from a geopolitical standpoint. Plus, all the players all play together and like each other. So there isn't the same level of visceral hate or paranoia when it comes to other countries like there was before. And Russia's not in it. And Czechia, as Eric said, I'm really pissed they're not in it. So it's not what it was before when it comes to the geopolitical tensions. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But I would be surprised if it's as intense as a playoff game. I guess that's maybe what I'm saying. Do you think it'll be as intense as a playoff game?
I don't know. I mean, if Canada is playing in a final against the United States, I think it might be. I mean, McDavid gets a chance to play with Sidney Crosby, and they're gonna be okay finishing second. Like I don't know. I have a hard time believing that that's the way it'll be, but I guess we'll see once.
But you can't make up the intensity, right, Dustin? Like it's either there. It's like chemistry. You either have chemistry, or it's either there or it's not. Now with Connor McDavid, I think is the exception because when I went to the All-Star game last year in Toronto, he was super intense, right? So he's always intense. Connor McDavid, as far as I can tell, but you guys know him better because you're in his market. I don't think he has an off switch. It's either yes or no, right? But I wonder if other players might ease up on hitting a teammate, for example, that they may need in their playoff run, right? Like that's also a really good point. I'm really glad I raised it and thought of it right now. What if what if players are on the same team, but then they go here and are they gonna lace someone out? Of course not. That would be insane. Totally insane. Hello?
Well, hey,
is there anybody there? I feel like you guys don't even want me on today, which is totally fine.
No.
Totally fine.
I'm trying to talk a little less because I'm coughing every single time I talk.
Do you have plans for Valentine's Day?
Well, that's a good question.
With my mistress, yes.
Oh, jeez.
You guys?
We might
for three.
We might get heart-shaped pizzas from Boston Pizza. Yeah, might be a thing.
I think you guys should go to the movies together for Valentine's Day.
You know what?
Right?
The new Marvel movie does come out this weekend.
Oh.
I wouldn't.
You know what? This is totally an EST's wheelhouse. See how I'm now using your trademark EST? I love it.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. You know what's in your wheelhouse? Would be a Valentine's Day extravaganza with your listeners. That because it's perfectly funny. Like it's perfect. It's not the Super Bowl. It's not a cup final, whatever. You're having EST Valentine's Day extravaganza.
Where we kind of are, because we're doing the fun spiel. We're doing a big curling bond spiel the day after Valentine's Day.
On the 15th, yeah.
Which people are very excited
curling.
about. So on the 15th, yeah.
Whereas I call it darts for janitors. I remember years ago when I went curling, and I was my buddy Mark was I don't know, he was the guy sliding the rock. I don't know what the name of that person is. Anyway, and he was so soft, and he kept right away sweep like the whole way. So finally, I turned to him and I said, "My father swept, so I wouldn't have to sweep." And
Throw
I walked
it harder,
away.
dude. Throw it harder.
And that's a true story. That's a true story. My father swept, so I wouldn't have to sweep. Now, he wasn't a sweeper, but he was a surgeon. But it's the same idea. You always. I think when the chips are down and you're painted into a corner and you've been beat, I think you invoke race, and I think you're fine.
As always, buddy, we love you. Have a great Valentine's Day. I'll be sure to text you.
Yeah, I love you guys too. Next week, I want you to make eye contact. Okay, thank you so much. I love you guys more than the Four Nations Cup, which is an absolute wholesale, unequivocal fraud.
Oh,
Bye.
jeez. There you go. Eric
I was just
Macramalla.
kidding.
He's got tickets to the event. He's got tickets
Well,
to
he's
the
going to
event.
wait till they.
Yeah. Well, we'll
He's playing the patient game.
We'll see. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999.
I think he basically wanted us to have an EST orgy, is what he was trying to get. That was
Probably be up his alley, I think.
the one time he'd fly out.
The one time he'd roll out here. Yeah, probably. All right. We need somebody to play kind of easy trivia right now. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you'd like to play kind of easy trivia, gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual is up for grabs at 780-218-9999. Text Trev and let him know that you would like to play today. We've got 3 questions too many coming up. Actually, need some questions for 3 questions too many. Oilers questions, CFL free agency questions, non-sports questions, alien questions, whatever you have, submit those right now to 780-218-9999, and we will give you some answers coming up just after 8 o'clock. Let's get to a sports update right now for Windsor Plywood, Leduc.
Changing 200.
Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada tonight as action gets underway at the Four Nations face-off from Montreal between Canada and Sweden. Puck drop 6 o'clock Mountain. Finland will take on the USA tomorrow back in Montreal. The Edmonton Oil Kings hit the ice down at Rogers Place as they host the Regina Pats tonight. Puck drop at 7. Oil Kings will hit the road and visit Red Deer on Friday. 15 games are on the NBA tonight, including the Raptors hosting the Cavs while the Lakers visit the Jazz. Last night, Scotty Barnes had 33 as the Raps snapped a 4-game slide in Philly, 106-103 over the 76ers. CFL free agency yesterday, the Elks making it official with 6 players, including Canadian defensive back Royce Mechie on a 2-year deal. Jake Ceresna, Robbie Smith, David Beard, and Tyrell Ford are scheduled for medicals later this morning, while former Elks defensive coordinator Jason Shivers will reportedly be named as the new Argonauts DC. Sports Update brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc today. I was waiting for you to join.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, not tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tuffy and Eric and all of the bad cats like Wyshynski and Noodles. Captain can gauge it if it's a fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramalla, Rapaport, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. But then my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
8:03 on the Nielson Show here in Edmonton Sports Talk. Thank you very much for checking out our show today. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us as we push towards 370 away from that. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at edmontonsportstalk.com, tell your friends how easy it is to listen to EST. And of course, you can text us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox. The Nielson Show today and every day brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. We're going to play a little kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. We do need your questions for 3 questions too many. submit those right now to 780-218-9999 or hit us up over in the nasty chat as well. Just label it like 3Q or something, and we will try to get to a few of those as we work our way through 3 questions too many. That's a good for the Italian center, Greg Wyshynski, just after 8:30. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power as well. Marmot Basin Snow Report and the wrap for William Huff. A lot going on here in hour number 3. All right, Trev, who's going to play kind of easy trivia today, buddy?
Today, we've got Pat.
All right, Pat is going to play, looking to stake his claim. Head to Mr. Mike's for a 2-course steak dinner for just $39.99. Start with an Emperor Caesar salad or a rustic onion soup. Then enjoy their tender 7-ounce sirloin steak with béarnaise butter and garlic mashed potatoes loaded with savory toppings. Mr. Mike's, eat locally. Enjoy casually.
Not leaning fully into that, which I
try
understand.
not to.
I
try not to today.
Hit it out of the park.
It's cough here. I'll save him. Save him.
Béarnaise butter.
Béarnaise butter.
You did purse the lips a bit, which I
tried to a little bit without coughing. Somebody said when we say changing 100, changing 200, it's actually my cough counter today. That was that's Big Maple.
Text that in.
Big Maple, did you you take me out last night? Poker tournament? I think it was Big Maple. I had pocket 7s. He had pocket 8s. Flipped him over. He got me. Caught an 8 on the river.
Daisy, if he did.
Would have been great. All right. Pat's playing. Let's go to Pat today. Pat, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Trev will start the ticker. I have to read the first question. Good luck, man. Who is the captain of Team Canada at the Four Nations?
Crosby.
Who does Canada play tonight?
Sweden.
What position does Linus Ullmark play?
Goaltender.
In which sport do pitchers and catchers report?
Yes.
Yeah, baseball.
Daniel Negreanu is famous for playing what?
Not sure. Oh no!
What did he say? What did he say?
Oh. This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream.
Sure. Oh no.
Orgasmic proportions.
Oh, is that dirty?
Frustration sets in and the emotion goes out, and then you just start playing by yourself.
Oh, is that dirty?
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
.807 with the AM Nasty. Thank you very much for being here today. What did Pat say?
Maybe somebody was maybe he was falling off a ledge or something like that. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. He said, what did he say? I don't know. Oh no, or something like that.
He said, not sure. Oh no.
Is that from a different bit? Has
That's
somebody
gotta be
said
a
that
reference
before?
to something.
It's got to be a reference to
Predator
something.
line, maybe.
Maybe, because I haven't seen it.
Great pitchers and catchers question though too.
I knew you'd like
Keegan
that.
Matheson down in Dunedin.
I saw him when he's like,
betting in.
Babe, wake up.
I should have asked him.
Yeah, I don't.
Who was it again? Pat?
Yeah.
We can text him back.
Yeah,
eh?
Pat, let us know.
Pat, are you okay?
Was it a bit?
Did he run into something?
Yeah,
Rob from the Grove says, did you just fall down an embankment?
An embankment. That's what it kind of sounded like. Yeah, tumbling down something.
We're sitting here thinking, oh my God, was it a bit? And something did happen to him.
Pat, let us know.
That would not be good. Anyway, we'll try to get to the bottom of that. 780-218-9999. That's good for the Italian Center coming up. Greg Wyshynski just after 8:30. The weekly rankings of power, Marmot Basin Snow Report, and the wrap for William Huff. And we'll get to a few more of your text messages. If you have any questions for 3 questions too many today, you can submit those right now, and we'll fit them in. Let's get into 3 questions too many today. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
I do. 3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he thinks the NBA isn't scared of the Four Nations face-off. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. 15 games in the association.
15 games.
15 games.
They don't mess around.
Lakers Jazz tonight.
Lakers and Jazz again. Yes.
Warriors as well. Steph Curry, something to prove, visiting the Mavs.
Something to prove, according to Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, the A-list.
This text says, I'm the guy that said, oh no, last week during Kind of Easy Trivia. So somebody else is saying he was...
So this is a snake.
Following up on this guy's bit.
I don't mind this.
Okay. Well, there we go. Get to the bottom of it. Do you have a Twitter account?
Yes. At Lieutenant_Eric. You can follow on Twitter, and at YEG Sports Talk, where along with the Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge Twitter account, we've been tweeting out pictures of just the memories, the fun, the frivolity of Super Bowl LIX 59 down at the casino over the weekend. Great time.
Party
great
was
photos.
better than the game.
Even you and Zach in the photo that you didn't want to take, and you had quite the stare. And Zach too joined you. You both.
Zach did tell me, he goes, "I'm also not going to smile." I said, "Thanks for the support, Zach."
I zoomed in on both of you, and it gave me a giggle. So,
guys, I think someone did the same on the Draisaitl McKinnon question last week. Okay,
it's a nasty bit. I love it. I love them bitting on us.
All right, here we go. Let's get into 3 questions too many today. Start with this one from Rams fan. Guys, how do you think Trey Ford will adjust to what essentially will be a completely new receiving crew this year versus what he had last year? And if you have any questions for 3 questions too many, Oilers, Elks, CFL free agency, Luka, pitchers and catchers reporting, aliens, other non-sport questions, submit them to 780-218-9999. So, how do you think Trey Ford will adjust to what essentially will be a completely new receiving crew versus what he had last year?
You saw I answered back to him in quite lengthy form. What do you think here on this? I'm just saying health to him is the main concern. He's got a vote of confidence. He's the guy. You should have probably an improved offensive line. You've got a killer backfield. So I think like the receiving core, even though it is
the receiving core is much different. Like,
but
he
that
doesn't
shouldn't
have
be a problem. It's not you're leaning on it like the LeBron needs to win a title.
Like, he would be familiar with Dylan Midrill. He's gone. Gino Lewis gone. But I think this is an offense where if they design it how you think they would design it across Trey Ford, they probably don't need that one superstar wide receiver, right?
And I think they all have certain talents to them. I think a guy like Mathis as well that I'm going to be watching that is already part of the organization. Of course, Julian Grant, the speed that he possesses. Like I know you wanted Jones, and there's a few people that, an ideal receiving core, you'd maybe have a few names in there as opposed to others. But I think with the offensive line, what Trey and Cody possess in their game in terms of running the ball, coupled with that backfield, you don't need to lean on or be too concerned about the receivers. I think they'll be fine. Again, health is paramount to everything in success, but I don't think it's not like he's a passing quarterback and he needs to get on the same page with a lot of these guys.
They could be a really good running team this year.
Oh, it's going to be insane if they
really could work that. It could work that way, but staying healthy will obviously be big. And I think having a veteran guy who might not appear to kind of have a grudge might help too a little bit in Cody Fajardo. Like, I know MBT tried to say all the right things, but let's be honest. I mean, I never saw those two guys talk on the sideline, like once.
You're right. And I think too with this group of receivers, not too many, like, correct me if I'm wrong, not too many too long in the tooth, right? Like, a lot of guys with some hunger, things to prove, not too long in the league, right? Like, still a lot of upside there for them to kind of reach out and grab. So.
And as I think you mentioned earlier, the surprise guy or two that will emerge from south of the border.
Happens,
and you're like, this guy went to Toledo.
Somebody the other morning was high on Arkell Smith. 6'1", 194, 25 years old. Zach Mathis as well, coming 6'7", 203. Like, are you kidding me? JJ Lapp as well. I'll label him as my guy, but
you're really on board with this JJ Lapp guy.
Let's see. But then again, it's just that example of, guys coming out of nowhere and possessing that hunger to nail down a spot.
We'll get to question number 2 in a second. Brian Gandecki over on the Nasty Chat says, every time you guys talk basketball, you should play the song Basketball Jones. I do love that song. Right now we do this. Now we could transition that after that into a Basketball Jones.
I believe I can
got my Basketball Jones. Basketball Jones, that was a Cheech and Chong thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have it wasn't an NBA official, but like a Hoops playlist CD, like a greatest basketball hits.
Basketball Jones would not have been on there, though.
It was.
Was it?
Yes.
Wow. I'm a little surprised by that.
But I do like the Kawhi, but there's a longer version where it continues on. Isn't there like the round ball rock type of, like, it's the full
just
song?
Keeps rolling?
Yeah. We have the shortened version.
Question number 2. Would you guys want to represent Earth in speaking to aliens for the first time?
Well, how, in English?
So you get, I don't know. I
'cause
mean, nobody knows.
I think there's a communication that we don't even know, like a seventh sense. And again, going by what I was saying earlier,
I think
we already
scared.
are.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe technically we are aliens planted on this planet to mine it, and boy, are we ever. I would. I think I'd be too scared to be the guy who goes and talks to the aliens,
shoved out in front.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy. Trev, would you want to be that guy?
I would want to be that guy.
You would, hey?
I'd like to talk to go down as in the history books as the first person to talk to aliens. Are you
That
kidding
would be
me?
pretty cool.
Be like forever
yeah.
known YouTube Trev. He was pretty good on YouTube, but he also talked to aliens.
This
for
was the
first time.
guy. He was the first guy to do it.
And I think they'd be quite fascinated by me.
You think so?
I don't think they'd be intimidated by me.
I love how the aliens would be fascinated by
I
you.
feel
I
like
love it.
if they were watching me my whole entire life, they'd be like, okay, this is actually the perfect person to talk to
To
first.
dive into a little bit.
He doesn't really like conflict. He's a pretty, chill guy, goes with the flow. We summon him. I'll be like, hey, how's it going, guys? What are you doing up here? I'd love to be that guy.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Abduct me. I'm just joking.
Probe.
Take me.
Bang, 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 bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
Watch this.
You guys think that's so? This we met an Earthling. YouTube Travis's name. He punched himself in the face more than 10 times to get a bleeding nose. Come back to our planet, YouTube Trev.
Sorry. Okay. But yes, I think I'd like to be that person.
I'm gonna pass on it. Big Uke says you can't send Dusty. He would just show up coughing on them and showing them LeBron highlights. Let's be honest.
Well, hey, you'd repel the attack,
Hey,
I think. Hey.
LeBron is one of theirs. He's one of their own. They already know his highlights because he's a basketball god sent from outer space to change the game forever.
Tough to prove you wrong there.
That's what that was. All right, and question number 3. God, I love Edmonton. Question number 3 comes in from Tabby. Do you guys think the Oilers should trade Stu Skinner at the deadline? Personally, I wouldn't do it. Haters gonna hate. That's in from Tabby.
For Ryan Donato, so they can go out and then acquire John Gibson. So
The
there's
old
no
flipperoo.
Right?
I thought Button laid it out very nicely. We have the Button video from yesterday up on our YouTube channel under videos. Like you roll with Skinner this year. And then if you actually feel the need to make a change, you do it in the offseason.
I think getting to Game 7 of the Cup final gets you a little more
Gets you
rope.
another run at it.
Yeah.
Right? Is that not? I mean, that's a great point, Eric. Getting to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final should probably get you another run at a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, in summer, as Craig did mention too, you have more options. Like we talked yesterday too about Gibson being available, and that's why the conversation
because
is
he's
there.
available.
Yeah.
Like that's why everybody's talking about this. Like he might be the one goalie that'll be moved. So, you got to get him then. That's a
It's like
horrible
Macramalla
plan.
buying tickets from Ticketmaster right now when they're that expensive. You wait a bit, you'll get a better deal.
Let it come down.
Yeah, and maybe something else.
So no, I don't think they should trade Stuart Skinner at the deadline. Sorry, I know some people are going to be like, "You're an idiot, Dusty," but I don't know. Don't think you go there. Big Maple says Skinner plus who is a sweetener for Donato? The other Skinner, I think.
No, we learned yesterday.
Please start using initials here.
I love the whole Skinner chat.
Yeah.
Both players approaching the deadline. That's going to be, I know we like to keep out for fake insiders online. That's going to be the one we have to watch out for. Which Skinner?
What was the Skinner song I had last week? Was this the beat?
They probably make a deal including one.
They might.
And they'll mean the other one.
This was it, wasn't it?
My name is Jeff.
Skinner.
Yeah.
My name is Jeff.
Skinner.
My name is Jeff.
This is a great beat.
You should throw in a Stewart from Mad TV just for fun.
bookbinder of Alberta.
See, Jeff Skinner's just starting to get going here, right? It's, leave everybody as is. Leave everybody as is. That's a good beat, though. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999.
If we talk about Leon Draisaitl getting rest, Jeff Skinner also gets a rest.
Big rest. I mean, he probably wanted to keep rolling. You know who's loving this rest the most? Corey Perry. He's got to be loving this rest
Who
the
does it
most.
benefit the most and who does it benefit the least, too? Because you mentioned, if you're just getting rolling.
Yeah, Jeff Skinner probably would have wanted to keep playing.
Exactly.
Penner's Pancakes over in the Nasty Chat says, I do think that Donato and Murphy would be a nice package if you could pry them away from Chicago. Well, we'll find out more at the deadline.
The collection of Connors continues.
Brie Lando says, certified Jeff Skinner banger. Really is. I don't know how we hadn't used that beat more on the show. Wonder if it would work with I don't want to ruin it. I wonder if it would work with an old Wednesday bit too.
Oh,
yeah, I think, let's just see.
That bad is got room for everybody.
I think it could work with a lot of different things. Yeah, that's the interesting part
King
about
sized.
it. Let's see if this, I think it's just a really good bed.
Who the hell are you all of a sudden? Get off your fat little ass or I'll break it for you. Who loves his mom? Get away from me, you horse's ass!
Throw a deep one in there. Okay, let's see. Illegal.
You clumsy poop! You clumsy poop! I got a raspberry in my ear. I got a raspberry in my ear. I got a raspberry in my ear. Get me a soda with some ice in it. Owen doesn't have a friend. Owen!
Yeah, that just works for everything. That's a hell of a beat. That's pretty good. Check off another one. Well, good to know. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in. Bones is saying, play the Josh Archibald song. I mean, we're not just...
We're just now lobbing up.
We're just, the less I have to talk, probably the better. Today.
Yeah.
So let me see here. My kids listen to this all the time. They love it.
Ever since he was a young boy, he hasn't been very tall. From Zona up to Edmonton, he's the oil fireball. Yeah, we ain't seen nothing like him, don't need no Taylor Hall. With a quick, hard snapshot, goal scored by Josh Archibald. He flies around the ice rink with terror in his eyes, hitting all the D-men, all the bigger guys. He plays with inspiration, bounces up when he falls. With a quick, hard snapshot, goal scored by Josh Archibald. He's a PK wizard, he clears the zone so quick. A PK wizard's got such an active stick. How do you think he does it? I don't know what makes him so good. Ain't got no detractors, cause he works hard and tries. Even Gregor likes him, stick is the right size. Always makes the right play, he's not afraid to brawl. With a quick, hard snapshot, goal scored by Josh Archibald.
On the whole extraterrestrial thing, Bones makes a good point. Didn't that song summon the... Yeah, play it out for me. How did that happen
The
again?
very first time we played the Josh Archibald song,
Yes.
people in Edmonton saw like a comet in the sky. It was like a fireball entering the galaxy or entering the atmosphere
Like
of the
him.
galaxy. So yeah, I mean that's a thing.
United Cup hero.
He was good at Gaetan Haas.
Gaetan Haas here.
We got a song for him too. Chantel in Calgary says, guys, catch him on yesterday's show listening to YouTube Trev confessing his nosebleed story. Has me dying laughing. I had to pull over. What a guy. That was an all-time moment.
Yo.
I mean, that was a hell of a story yesterday. If you did not see that, go back to yesterday's show on YouTube or on the podcast or wherever you consume our show. And that was around 7:30. I was laughing hard. Maybe that's where the cough came from. Laughing so hard on YouTube Trev's confession yesterday. That must have been it. All right, let's get to that's a good for the Italian Center. And you know what? I guess I'll say this. The Italian Center, go to their website, check out the recipes. I know many people are always like, oh man, I don't know what to have for dinner tonight. Well, go to italiancenter.ca and click on recipes and just pick one. And then you go in, you get all your items, and have a brilliant night. We both had Italian Center for dinner last night.
Pizza and pasta.
Did you go both? Pizza and pasta?
Oh, no.
I thought you did pizza and pasta.
Well, you know what?
I was having the lasagna, and I saw your picture of the pizza. I was like, damn, we should have got some pizzas, too.
I have had a tray of pasta from there for lunch one day, and then had like
a pizza at night.
Yeah, not telling my wife. You can do it. I mean, it's not like it's good, clean food. It's house made. Like it's
it's fresh. It's
like your
terrific.
No would make or whatever.
Well, and the I think we had to heat up the lasagna for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's another
quick
thing.
turnaround.
Yeah, very quick. Yeah, no, pizza was
that
great.
was great as well. But like, how good is this? For Italians, delicious, bountiful meals are a way of life, and the dining table is where we bond. It's where families come together, friends are found, memories are made, and business is done. Come, step into Italy at the Italian Center.
Little glass of red.
That's really cool, actually.
Little ice cream afterwards.
And they got a bunch of great Valentine's Day items as well. The heart-shaped desserts and things like that. In fact, I think the family probably got... because I went and picked up the lasagna, but I guarantee they probably got some donuts yesterday. And Marshall even said last night, he goes, Daddy, we didn't bring you anything from Italian Center. I said, what?
He mentions.
God, you're killing me, son.
A Valentine's Day cream horn, perhaps.
We share as a family. That's what it's all about. I actually, okay, so I know this, I don't know how this is going to, but people are going to, whatever. I like the Team Canada jersey. There, I said it. I think
the
it's
jersey,
good. The new jersey, the jersey for the
fine. Yeah,
I like the jersey.
Do people hate it?
Well, no, but I don't think we've talked about the jersey much.
Fair point.
But I think we haven't talked about the jersey much because we've been complaining about the tournament and the timing of it and this and that and not enough teams and all this stuff.
I still like the goalie helmets from yesterday.
The goalie helmets look great.
Are fantastic.
But that Team Canada jersey looks good.
Yeah.
The big maple leaf with Canada across it, the two white lines behind that come across onto the arms. Like it's there's nothing too crazy about it.
Simple yet stylish.
But it looks really nice.
Yeah.
So as we get set to watch Canada play tonight against Sweden, I'm very excited to get a look at them in these jerseys because I think they look terrific. And if you're looking for some Team Canada swag, obviously our partners over at Pro-Am Sports can help you out. But I love the way the jersey looks.
Like in terms of the other three nations. And nationality aside, I mean the Trey Koning or whatever it is for Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Like the three. Like they always do that, and it always has a sharp look to it. USA, I mean, just having USA across the breast, that doesn't really do it. Like
it's a little plain
They got
Jane.
the eagle, they got the stars. Like they could at least dress that up a bit more.
There could have been some stars mixed in on that thing.
So they're flat last for me. And Finland, I mean, they got the Suomi.
Wait, you're not doing power rankings right now, are you?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
no. I already had that out of the bag, and we could have slow released it during the show. But I'll be ranking each nation in the four nations. But I think for jerseys, I mean, again, nationality aside, Canada's up there, if not the best.
I think it's
the States firmly.
It's undoubtedly the best jersey.
Yeah. Like if you were an alien, you didn't have any, home country, and just based on style and fashion and look and all that stuff.
I prefer the Team Canada jersey.
And USA is like flat bottom. Even Wyshynski would have to be.
Yeah, even you know what? I'm going to bring that up with Wyshynski.
I think you should. Ask what he thinks.
How
about
bad
that,
is your jersey?
They'll say something like, "Oh, it doesn't matter how bad it is if we're winning the tournament."
Yeah, but their jerseys are just boring. Come up with something cool.
Terrible. USA.
Yeah.
Should just write United States. Make it even more boring.
John Chan over in the chat says 4 Nations is just an NHL money grab exhibition games. Will the players even care and give it a 100%? I guess we will find out. There's a good shot of that jersey. Sorry, Trevor, I didn't see you put that up. Like, that looks nice.
And no home and away. Like, this is it.
This is it.
So it'll be
These are
red
the
on
colors.
blue,
Finland's
red on yellow.
white.
Yeah. The
Sweden's yellow. The U.S. is blue, and Canada's red. Trev, you got to like that look.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's like splendid, I'd say.
Do you like it better than
honestly,
the Hockey Canada look that you're sporting today? Like, that's a classic.
You have a classic
organizational.
Yeah, like they're both.
Here, move that picture off. Come around here and I would
might
like
be a
show
hot
show the
take,
people
but
your sweater here.
Has
today.
Canada ever missed with their jerseys? Is that a hot take?
That's a good question.
Because every year, well, I guess not every year, but whether it's the Olympics, World Cup, whatever it may be, just looking at the history of the jerseys, I think they've just knocked it out of the park every single time.
Here,
every
I
jersey.
found a list of.
Like 2010 was just unreal. 2014 was awesome. The World Cup I thought was really cool. This year's. I mean, it's so clean. It's so nice. I think they've just done such a good job forever.
There's the one year they had, I don't know which event it was, but I'm looking at a list of or a picture of all the different Canadian jerseys. And there's one where it's just like the top part of a maple leaf.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like that one. It's just, there's nothing else to it. It's just a maple,
I forget what that was for. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what that one was for though. But I think this is the best one they've had in quite some time.
Like when they go
like
black, it's pretty sweet.
I don't like just the word down they had that diagonally down like the Rangers for a couple I'm seeing. Like, I don't need that.
This is what Trev's rolling today.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah. There we go.
You're Canadian.
Looks pretty nice. Which one would that go back to? Yeah. This is a good question. They kind of that's a generic
Hockey
sort of
Canada,
Hockey Canada setup, yeah.
The Shield.
All right, 780-218-9999. Yeah, you look good, Trev. You look good. That's good. Look at Trev. That's a good today with YouTube Trev. He's very excited for this for Canada here. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. This is the one that I'm talking about that I didn't like.
And I didn't like the one with, I know this is great radio here.
Yeah, sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
There have been some that I would classify a bit as duds.
Oh, you could rank
but
them,
it's still Team Canada jersey, which is pretty cool.
You got to like it. Yeah.
Have to. All right, Greg Wyshynski's on the way for ESPN. And we'll get his thoughts on those horrible United States jerseys. Bottom of the rankings. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power coming up as well. Marmot Basin Snow Report, and then the wrap for William Huff, all before 9 o'clock this morning. The Hangout from 9 to 11 today. That's coming up in about half an hour right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Let's get to an update for Sit and Sleep.
Four Nations face-off begins tonight from Montreal between Canada and Sweden. Jordan Binnington will get the start for Canada in net, while yesterday Sidney Crosby was moved to the wing as Nathan McKinnon will center that line alongside Mark Stone. Puck drop tonight, 6 o'clock Mountain. Finland will take on the USA tomorrow back in Montreal. The Edmonton Oil Kings host the Regina Pats tonight from Ice District. Puck drop at 7. Oil Kings will then hit the road for a Friday night game down in Red Deer. 15 games are on the NBA tonight, including the Raptors hosting the Cavs, while the Lakers visit the Jazz. Raptors last night snapping a 4-game slide with a 106-103 victory over the 76ers. Over to the CFL, former Elk defensive coordinator Jason Shivers will reportedly be named as the new Argonauts DC. Elks made it official yesterday with 6 players signing, including defensive back Royce Mechie on a 2-year deal. A handful of medicals are expected by the team later this morning. Some other official signings this morning. The Ticats hauling in former Bomber receiver Kenny Lawler and quarterback Shea Patterson, trading in the green and white of Saskatchewan as he is now a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Sports Update brought to you by Sit and Sleep, where they are currently offering a winter clearance event from massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made custom furniture. The winter clearance event is your chance to transform your home at a fraction of the cost. Plus, you can enjoy perks like the free local white glove delivery and special financing offers that make it even easier to bring home the best. Visit us today in South Common next to Planet Fitness.
8:35 on the Nielson Show. Hangout coming up. Maddie, Tommy, Jasmine, Belzy. That's going to be a good one from 9 to 11. Lock Shop at 11. Oil Stream at noon today. EST afternoons from 1 until 3. And then the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6 today.
Soapy Kirk says you're making an SD impression of the year, making a case for that for your alien character here. You're, again, we've said man of 1,000 voices, and you continue to impress.
These humans have an award show called the Esties. It's ridiculous.
Can you say beep boop?
Beep boop. Beep boop. Alien boop beep. Beep boop. Alien talk.
Can you give your thoughts on the halftime show from the Super Bowl?
Beep. Beep. Say Drake. Smile. Beep boop. Beep boop. Smile. Crip walk. Serena. Boop. Is Wyshynski ready? You kicking around? Oh, he is ready.
Bring him in.
I'm sitting here doing alien.
See you now.
I'm sitting here doing the alien
must
bit.
have loved it.
I probably did. This guy believes in aliens. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Let's bring in Greg Wyshynski today from ESPN. Reed Wilkins and Jay, the glue guy, started it on their show yesterday talking about UFOs and aliens and stuff. And Wyshynski, let's just start there. Then we'll get to the Four Nations. I mean, are you a believer in extraterrestrials?
I'm sorry. I was confused. I thought you had left the set because all I heard was this incredible alien voice.
Thank you, Greg.
So let's parse that question for a second. Do I believe in extraterrestrials? Of course I do. We are not alone in the universe. There is life on other planets. That is an unquestionable fact that we are not alone in the universe. Do I believe we're being visited by aliens? The answer is no. I believe we're being visited by interdimensional beings that have craft that can traverse different dimensions and visit our planet. The idea that other civilizations have developed the technology to visit here and haven't, like, I don't know, met with the prime minister or something, or done something more than stealing our cows is insane. But interdimensional beings finding a way to get here, that makes much more sense in my book.
We decided with Jamie McLennan today that if anybody in the world of sports is an alien right now, it's Victor Wembanyama. Like, I don't know how that dude's just pulling it off. Like, he's just fitting in, and we're just accepting him as a human being. Like, it makes no sense.
That's because in the back of your mind, he resembles that alien at the end of Close Encounters that stands up before the little aliens come out. There's that big tall one that looks like a praying mantis that comes out.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, in the back of your mind, you're like, that's Wemby, and that's kind of where you've gone with it in your pop culture adult brain. By the way, on Team USA jerseys, there's only, in my entire life, there's been one good one. And it's the one where the USA logo, the S became the flag.
The flag.
That's, yeah.
That thing was dope. That was the best one they ever made. Everything else looks terrible. They all look like templates from a video game where you could play as the United States.
That is what it looks like. You're right.
And the problem is, here's the problem. As you guys know, we have three colors. We got white, we got blue, we got red. We can never make a red jersey because of you guys.
That's true.
You guys took red, you made it your own, and now we can never use it as the basis for a full, color jersey, which would have changed it up a little bit. So we keep making the same boring blue jersey over and over again for the last 50 years, and it stinks.
97 World Cup.
That flag logo. And you
that
got
flag
the
logo
little
is good.
star. You got the A.
It's great. It's the best one they ever made. This one is boring. It looks like all the other ones. They just
and it's just like a generic font too.
You could have give us a wingding or something.
We even tried the Rangers thing where we had USA going diagonally. It looked even worse than the thing we've got now. So I don't know, man. Maybe we should just change it up and make the whole thing an eagle, or I don't know, Trump's hair, or side. Who knows? We'll just change it.
Where's your level of excitement for this event at right now, Greg?
I think tonight's going to be a real canary in the coal mine for me, because I'm interested to see what the level of play is going to be in games that aren't rivalry games. So, like, we know USA Canada is going to be lit on Saturday, and I'm pretty sure Sweden Finland will be lit on Saturday too. Like, those are the games I'm not concerned about. I'm concerned about Finland USA and Sweden and Canada. Like, the games that are not necessarily blood feuds, I want to see what the pace is like. I assume it's going to be better than the World Cup. Like that's the bar for me. But it could easily just be kind of between the World Cup and an All-Star game, depending on how hard these guys really want to go. But I have no concern about Saturday night being just an absolute classic between those two teams who've been waiting years to face each other and have the Pavlovian response when the Canadians see the USA logo across the ice and we see the Maple Leaf across the ice. There's no way to not get into that game. And also there are enough guys in that game that don't know how to shut it off, like the Kachucks and Crosby and McDavid, that you know you're going to get a banger.
As far as that U.S. team goes, like let's say they go on and win it. Who do you think becomes the guy? Like that's a great team. Who do you think emerges as the guy for the United States?
Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the biggest disparity between the USA and Canada, I wrote about this today on ESPN. I predicted all of the games in the tournament on ESPN because there's only like seven of them.
Six or seven, yeah.
It's a pretty easy assignment. So like I noticed something, which is that the biggest disparity between the USA and Canada obviously is goaltending. You know, I do think it's overstated a little bit. The Binnington part of it, I think he can give you a couple really good games, and I've seen him take over games. Like I don't think that he is going to be a liability. He's just not Connor Hellebuck or Jake Ottinger. He might not even be Jeremy Swayman. But the biggest disparity between Canada and the US, look at the forward group. Look how many cups those guys have won on Canada. And if you want to throw Connor going and losing in a game 7 in the final, I'll take that too. When you look over at the US, I mean, it's Matthew Tkachuk, it's Jack Eichel. I think there's one more cup in there somewhere. Gensel is the other guy in the forward group that has a cup. But other than that, it's not a whole hell of a lot of guys that have played in the biggest spotlight that the NHL offers. And so when you think about who's going to play hero, who's going to emerge, who could come up with the big moment, it's probably the guys that we know can do it. And on that roster, no one has done it more than Matthew Tkachuk has done it. And I think if it came down to an overtime in a championship game, I'm putting my money on Chucky figuring out a way to end it.
Greg, you used to be on the Art Beat back in your print days. You're a creative guy. What did you think of the trophy unveiled yesterday? And if you had the I guess authority, what would you call it?
My thought was like, do we have any glass cleaner there? Every photograph of that thing looked like my bathroom mirror. Like can we not farm out the cup handler guys to use their gloves and carry that thing around? It's not exactly the greatest unveiling I've ever seen. As far as the name goes, that's a good question. Maybe we should like add that to the mix of what should be on the line in the championship game. If you win the championship, you get to name the championship. Yeah. You get to name it after a player in your past that best represents international hockey. So like you could name it the Gretzky if Canada wins, or the Lemieux, or if the US wins, you can name it the Modano or something. I mean, like let the team that wins it name it. That'd be great. Of course, the US team being all guys that are like under 25, they'll call it like Bodie McBoatface or some nonsense like that. So you gotta deal with that too.
You did predict every single game, including Canada beating Sweden today, Canada beating the US in preliminary, but losing to the United States in overtime in the final. How dare you, Greg? What's the? I guess US learns from the preliminary game and finishes the job.
Good thing we put that behind a paywall, huh, Dustin?
Sorry,
man. I don't care. It's out there in the world.
I didn't even know I had access behind the paywall.
I think Canadians just get access to everything I write.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm reading.
Very ironic.
I'm not signed in, so
very ironic. My thought is, I would be shocked actually if the U.S. beat Canada in Bell Center on Saturday night in that environment. Like if they do, then batten down the hatches because this team's probably going to win the gold medal in Italy. But the idea of being in that game and being in that environment and having the Canadians in that comfort zone and having so many of those guys having played and like I mentioned before, have experience in these types of situations before, hard for me to envision the U.S. winning that game. That being said, this tournament for me is all about trying to see what the Americans have on this roster, seeing how the pieces fit, seeing how they coalesce as a team, doing the thing that Mike Modano told me is the point of demarcation between Canada and the U.S., which is that Canada has stars that know how to play roles on their teams, and the U.S. has stars that aren't comfortable playing roles that they're not already playing in the NHL. So I think a few games of education, a few games of chemistry building, and most importantly, playing more in a much friendlier environment in Boston than in Montreal gives the U.S. a chance to win this tournament, and as I mentioned before, win it in overtime on a Matthew Tkachuk goal.
Greg Wyshynski with us here from ESPN. We had people texting in today saying, I'm not really into this. If they lose, I'm not going to be complaining about it. If they win, I'm not going to brag. But that's what they say before the tournament begins, right? Like if Canada beats the United States or the U.S. beats Canada in the final next Thursday down in Boston, I have a hard time believing that a bunch of Canadian or U.S. fans are going to be throwing this in each other's face.
Yeah, but then the one that's getting it thrown in their face is just going to be like, this is fake. It's a fake tournament. Like, I mean, that's going to be the default setting for anybody that's upset about the results of this thing. I mean, if there's an injury, then we're all going to be like, okay, this was a very real tournament. We should never do it again. Yeah. But like, the fact that we know too much. We're all too smart. We know why it exists. It exists because we couldn't stage an actual best-on-best tournament because they couldn't figure out a way to get Russia involved, because if they put Russia in, then Sweden and Finland were going to be out. So we end up with this Four Nations thing. We know what's looming exactly a year from now in the Winter Olympics in Italy, which is the tournament that all of the fans and the players care about. There's a bragging rights inherent to this thing. I think for me, I just want to see entertaining games and some legitimate passion being exhibited out there by the players in these games. But by no means does anything that happened in this tournament matter. It doesn't. It's like for entertainment purposes only. Next year matters. And the World Cup probably matters because of the prestige of the tournament. This thing is, I mean, as much as the NHL and everyone else is going to sell it as being meaningful, it's meaningful in the sense that, we get to see these guys play with each other for the first time, which, as I was mentioning to Jeff Merrick yesterday, brings you back to the old school ideal of the All-Star game. Remember when the All-Star game mattered and we were like, oh my God, I can't believe I got a chance to see Gretzky and Roenick play together, or something like that. Like, we get to see that now. We get to see McDavid and Sid on the ice on the power play. Like, how exciting is that? And the other thing that matters is that there are a group of players that are playing for spots for 2026.
Yep.
Especially on the American side, where you have the bottom six all looking over their shoulder at Tage Thompson and Cole Caulfield and Clayton Keller and the guys who didn't make the team. So those are the two things I'm looking for. The excitement of seeing, Austin Matthews skating with Jack Hughes and the competition inherent in guys trying to secure their spots for the Olympic team.
Greg, as always, man, we appreciate it and enjoy that game tonight.
I shall. Thanks, boys.
There you go. That is Greg Wyshynski. The World Cup that he mentioned is tentatively scheduled to begin again in 2028.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works.
Free read up at ESPN.
Talking about bad trophies. World Cup usually has that one narrowed down. That's a good reaction to Alien Voice today. Pretty happy about that.
As you should be. Somebody wants you to say credit card, you got it.
Credit card. I can't do it now. I lost the voice.
See how it...
yeah, geez.
Yeah, you're on the...
Boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Beep, boop. Credit card. Walk. I think I've lost Alien Voice. Oh, no. Jano says he'd love to see Dusty do a quick bit of the Alien Voice when he's calling CFL games.
You could work that in.
I am an alien. Yeah.
Trailums Dukes, beep, boop.
Credit card. You got it. I lost it. I had it. I lost it now. I don't know what happened. Oh, well. That's what happens with impressions sometimes, I guess. All right, let's get into Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power. Power.
You ready for this one?
I am ready for this one.
We're not going to need a lot of time for this.
Okay.
I'll be ranking the Four Nations currently taking part in the Four Nations face-off beginning tonight.
Okay.
As Canada takes on Sweden. So,
number 4.
Finland. Injury factor.
Oh, you're actually ranking from a hockey perspective. I thought you might have been ranking them as like the country itself.
Which
yeah. I thought it was like the country itself.
Gross domestic product.
Yeah, that type of stuff. What's the GDP of these places? That's why I was just like, okay, well, U.S. will be at the bottom of this list.
I
but-
do like how Greg takes you through, though, game by game. That was an interesting path. There's a lot of things you could rank. Could have ranked the jerseys. We kind of already did that in a mini way, I guess. But yeah, Finland. I'm saying for based on success.
Okay, number 3,
Sweden.
Number 2.
Do you want 1 first and then 2, or 2 and then?
I mean, I don't know. I'm very intrigued by it.
Number 2. The Canada.
Canada. So basically, you're predicting the United States to win this thing.
Correct. Now, I'm not cheering for them. I'm wearing the ribbon. I'll be decked. I'll have Canada. I watch party at my house tonight. The wings, the bacon, Molson beer. I'm full Canadian. To me, because the final is
Thursday. Next Thursday.
in
Boston. Yeah.
And that's kind of where, because we said too, I think we were speaking yesterday in terms of like, because they're all great, they're great lineups and everything. Where's the advantage? What's the advantage? I do think kind of playing games in Montreal. I mean, that's where there's going to be an advantage. That's where you're going to have, the rabid fans on your side and taking it to a final, being it is in Boston. And we know how Bostonians can kind of get up for things, right?
Yeah.
That might be the cutting edge there. So yeah, Finland, Sweden, Canada, USA. That's how they will podium.
What's the worst final? Finland, USA?
Yeah, because you wouldn't mind a Scandinavian final, hey?
Yeah, I mean, if it ends up being Sweden, Finland, those two countries will beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like a U.S. Finland
From
final
our point
is
of
probably
view,
the
I
worst
think
case
probably.
scenario.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the snow report for Marmot Basin.
Corduroy.
Remember Corduroy Bear?
Yeah.
That's a good bear. Corduroy Bear. Underrated bear, Corduroy Bear.
So stoked. Like, winter's here. I'm stoked. You stoked?
Stoked.
Just
I'm
so stoked.
Yes.
I mean, it came down last night, what, a good 5 inches?
Last night, I think so. Something like that, and a couple feet the day before.
You've got a 5-foot base with 5 inches of freshie on top.
1 centimeter of new snow overnight. Conditions around the mountain are great. And they got a little something for everyone. Fresh corduroy. Expert laps off in our Eagle East area. And sunny skies in the forecast. Getting some beautiful bluebird days the rest of the week heading into the weekend. Knob chairs closed today, but all other lifts are running. 20 freshly groomed runs. Season snowfall sitting at 180 centimeters with a base of 76. Plus, the Eagle Restaurant and Lounge will be open at Mid-Mountain for Family Day long weekend. So pop into Mid-Mountain and enjoy their full-service restaurant right on the mountain starting on Friday. A new menu and great vibes to be had. Also, live music on Saturday in the Caribou Lounge at the lower chalet at the base of the mountain. And a great Valentine's Day featured cocktails. Great weekend to be up there. Wow. So much going on. I'll just say, man, this mountain is huge.
Makes my day. The bookbinder of Alberta.
There you go. That's your Marmot Basin snow report. Ski Marmot. If you're looking for more information or missed anything that I just laid out for you, hit up their website, www.skimarmot.com, for the latest on all the deals and everything that they've got kicking around and cooking up over there. Let's get into the wrap for William Huff. You want your place to look as good as ours, William Huff is the place to do it. They've been rolling this out since 1952. Visit their website, www.williamhuff.com. Looking great as a studio sponsor on EST Afternoons as well. What did we learn on the show today, guys?
I learned that it'll be myself, YouTube Trev, and Will Fraser probably breaking down tomorrow's game between Canada and Sweden in the Four Nations face-off.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
No, you're not ruling.
I mean, I don't think I sounded that bad today, did I?
You
boys?
got better as the day went on.
Oh, I don't know. About
Would
that.
you?
I agree.
Didn't you do not feel it? You look it, and you seem better.
Body-wise, I feel better than yesterday. Like, still a little.
Yeah.
But
you keep on that.
I do
Pedialyte.
think the cough was worse in the 6 o'clock hour.
Yes,
Definitely was.
right. Yeah,
I agree.
and it's not keeping you up at night, which is good.
Well,
I mean,
not last night, but we'll see.
No.
Anyway, I'm going to go to the doctor today.
Go to the doc.
Yeah, I'm
please.
going in today. I'm going to sit down with him. I said, listen, I was out for a month in November. I'm not doing that again. Give me something right now to just kill this. And then he'll say, oh, just drink lots of fluids. And I'm going to say, not today, Doc.
No, you don't get it.
Not today.
Yeah, you show them the Pedialyte numbers that you've.
Yeah. Did you see how much Pedialyte I've been drinking?
You are Pedialyte.
Don't give me this liquids thing.
You're 90% Pedialyte.
This is a cough thing. So hopefully they can
get that steroid.
Give me something here, and we'll see. Yeah, give me a shot. I'm going to say, give me. I'm going to go in and say, cut me, Mick.
Well, as I said, I felt your forehead at the start of the show. I think it's just a case of old Four Nations fever.
No, maybe that's what it is.
And you're running hot.
Maybe that's what it is. All right. What else? Well, I also learned today that Trev is very excited. I don't think I've met anybody as excited as you are for this game tonight.
He's got the jersey on. Show
that's
him the
what
jersey again.
I was saying, I don't think anyone is as pumped for this event as me. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. I don't know if I should be embarrassed about that.
No, you don't have to be embarrassed about it, buddy.
Like whatever you like.
Yeah. But I can't wait. Like, I'm going home. I'm getting ready. I'm going to have a nice supper. I'm going to have some brewskis. And I'm just crack open a cold one, watch the game. Let's go. Team Canada, baby. Let's go. McDavid repping Team Canada.
McDavid and Crosby together for the first time.
I've waited so long for this.
How can you not be excited about that?
McKinnon throwing Makar. Yeah, that's just going to be awesome. So I'm pumped. I learned that Dusty has a cool alien voice.
Thank you, Trev. Beep boop. Beep boop. Bookbinder. Bookbinder show.
That's really good.
Thanks, man.
SD worthy. People are talking.
Big Slim Nazi says, great show, boys. Dusty, feel better, and we'll see you for the Masters. Back in like April.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. And we're 18 likes away. 18 likes away from changing 300 today. So hammer that thumbs up for us right now. Let's get into your sound of the day today. It isn't a Wednesday, and we did hit that new bet on it, and I thought it worked pretty well. This is Trev.
I run my bat. I run my bat. You tried to kill me.
There you go. That's your sound of the day today. Text of the day, a few pretty good Macramalla angels that rolled in earlier today. Let's go with this one from Strummy, EST legal analyst and guy who lies about being a veteran so he can shop at Old Navy, which works out very well. Strummy, very creative. Your win at text of the day for A&W today.
Props to the leaning one, I think it was too.
That leaning was also Strummy. Strummy was taking home one way or the other today. Sink your teeth into savings with A&W's new $6 Buddy Bundle. For a limited time, get your choice of a Buddy Burger made with cheese, chicken Buddy Burger, small fry, small drink, all for just $6 at A&W. All right, well, what are we watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen?
15 games in the NBA. I know if you can best it, Lakers and Jazz. West Coast tip-off.
What time does that
one.
start?
It's got to be a later one here. Let me just... 7 o'clock.
Ah, damn.
7 o'clock.
I was hoping it'd be like 8:30, so I could just flip right over right after the...
well, you have many options.
Right after the hockey game.
You have Grizzlies Clippers as the nightcap at 8:30. I know you'll probably... You can do both.
I like to set up multiple TVs to watch NBA stuff.
Suns Rockets too. Cavs visiting the Raptors.
Spurs Celtics.
5 o'clock. Yeah, you got a big stack here. NBA
nice
stack
sked, actually.
Yeah.
Nice sked.
They do not fear the Four Nations face-off. The association.
The NHL should have done a better job scheduling this Canada Swedish game. I mean, this is a pretty good schedule tonight in the association. Fun show today. Glad we got through her. We'll have the hangout coming up. Maddie, Tommy, Jasmine.
She'll be giving her full remarks and grades on the halftime show.
Oh, good.
That's what she promised.
Good. Somebody's got to do that. Casino Dealer Jay says, go watch Predator, Dusty. Yeah, I haven't watched Predator. So what's the concept of Predator?
So
Without spoiling it.
Yeah, South America.
Okay.
Something's going on there.
Are they in a jungle?
Yes.
Cool.
So they have to send like the best of the best. It's like the Four Nations, but they combine this elite group of commandos and they take a chopper down there.
Nice.
And they got to find out what's going on.
And this is the movie he yells, "Get to the chopper."
That's the one.
Really? So there's just an alien running around like a South American jungle.
Yeah, that Predator cast. Like the casting is just so great. Schwarzenegger. Adrian Brody's in it.
Oh, a younger Adrian Brody.
Yeah. Carl Weathers, of course.
Oh, rest in peace.
Sonny Landham. Yeah, he was Billy. Was it? Jesse the Body.
These guys all members of this elite force?
They're all the commandos. And just the best of the best.
Huh. So they killed a guy in the end, eh?
There are sequels.
They must.
There are sequels.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Without giving too much away.
More Predators must come.
Well,
okay. All right, that's going to do it for us. The Hangout is on the way next. Turn on autoplay over on YouTube. It'll take you right on over. Stormy says, I can't see the alien. What? It's an invisible alien? Predator's invisible?
Well, wait. Schwarzenegger gets an idea.
Do they throw paint on it?
Close.
That's a good way to see something that's invisible.
Close.
All right, for YouTube, Trev, Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielsen. The Hangout is on the way next. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, be ready for the Hangout coming up in less than 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Take it easy.